Hello guys and gals, and welcome. Today we're going to do something fun. We're going to play a Tankazon. Tankazon is an odd character, surely. A very odd character indeed. Many characters, base their abilities on a spell or an aura, or something that actually makes them a good character. Well, Tankazon doesn't have any of that. Tankazons are generally quite pathetic in terms of offense. They excel at defense, which is really what you build a Tankazon for. Before we hop into the Tankazon, though, I was searching on my folders, and I managed to come across a very old save file folder. So the save file folder is actually from a long, long time ago, at least probably 10 years, if not more. And I didn't really particularly know what I was going to find when I hopped in, and copied those files over to see what kind of, characters they would transfer as. I'm just hopping into chat, by the way. So I loaded them in, and sure enough, we've got Wydock, the level 99 paladin, and Dora, the level 99 sorceress. Dora was the name of one of my chinchillas, not Dora the Explorer. Although I did actually name her after Dora the Explorer because she liked to explore. But this sorceress is named after Dora, my chinchilla, not Dora the Explorer. So, yeah, exactly. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and let's try to get a chat running here. So anyway, I loaded them up just for fun. I just wanted to see. I was like, what are these characters that I cheated in? Obviously, because I know I didn't level these characters to level 99. I know I didn't. Leveling one character to level 99 is a challenge, let alone leveling multiple characters to level 99. So, and obviously, if you had leveled a character to level 99, you would remember. You would be like, oh yeah, that's that character that I really loved, and then I leveled to 99. Now, although I did actually have a level 99 paladin on the Battle.net server called Wydock. He was very, 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 very old, and he got deleted because of Battle.net's stupid 90-day character count deletion policy or whatever. Literally, I stopped playing for like a couple months, and my characters were gone, like all of them. It's very sad. That is one thing I am very, 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 very excited. It's not going to be in Diablo II Resurrected. I want to be able to keep my characters. My characters just getting deleted because I don't log in is going to be one of the dumbest things, like ever, that ever existed. Just so dumb. Just so very dumb. Alright, so I'm just trying to make sure everything is set up here before we start. And I think we're good to go. Alright, well, first thing I want to do is I want to show you these broken characters that I made. So first off is my cheated in level 99 paladin. You know what, let me show you something else first. So when you go into a regular character, you have a swap here. You have a P swap. You can. I put it to P just for the time being because I was tired of accidentally hitting it with the W. And your stash is this big, right? Okay, so you can swap weapons. You have a big stash. Okay. Now take a look at my cheated characters from 10 plus years ago. They have no weapon swap. No weapon swap, and their stash is tiny. Absolutely tiny. Okay, I mean we already think that the stash that currently is in the game, the what is it, 8x6 stash, is awful. This one is even more awful. Look at it. It's a 4x6. A 4x6. It's literally half the size of the original. All right. Now these characters are super cheated. They have this paladin has full Millabragas set, which gives +2 to all paladin skills. The weapon gives +1. There's Magic Find, Lifesteal, like literally the Saigon Sabbats give Magic Find. It's just cheated in. Like when I was a kid, and this is I don't even know how old this is, but it's from when I was a kid, definitely. I didn't even give myself waypoints or complete quests or anything. I just gave myself plus 20 to all skills. Just every single skill, because who doesn't need plus every single skill at level 20? And yeah. Look at my I'm just sliding along. Why am I just sliding? I don't even have waypoints. Oh, I do. Okay, I got some waypoints. Alright, let's go to the Canyon of the Magi. Let's be a complete douche and cast hammers. So everything will die and circle around us. I'm gonna, you know what? Let's Fist of Heavens you to death. How about that? Yeah, you like that? Fist of Heavens. Fist of the Heavens, sucker. So he literally has every aura max. Like I can throw on Holy Freeze. I can throw on Holy Shock. Just murder everything as I walk around. He's got Sanctuary. Max Sanctuary is going to be ridiculous. Let's go into one of these tombs real quick where all the undead are. Let's just go. Let's go laugh at the undead as they can't even touch us. Where you at, undead? Yeah, you guys just instantly died. Because the undead can't even, like, exist within a max level sanctuary. It's impossible. And I got max vigor, so I can just run around. That's super speed. Just everything you could ever want maxed. Just ridiculous. Look at all my defense. 11,505 defense. I mean, I noticed. She just swallows it like a duck. We got charge out the wing. Pull up my sanctuary aura. Everything can die. You know, sanctuary is actually super effective. There's hardly any non-demons. Non-undead. I think this is the first undead monster, or non-undead monster I've seen in here. And, so yeah, the other one is also cheated. So let me go play with her real quick. Her name is Dora. And, she's super cheated too. She has 20 plus to all skills for no reason. But I didn't give her any waypoints. Because, you know, what does she need waypoints for? You know, she doesn't actually go anywhere. She's just super cheated. And I gave her a Nas puzzler for some reason. I don't know exactly why. I guess I thought that was just the coolest thing to give her. And an angelic set piece, like, I guess for the +1. And then, and then Arcana's head. For like no reason. I don't even understand what my thinking was with this this whole thing. She doesn't even have a belt. And I didn't even put in all her stats. Look, she still has 297 stat points left to put in. And she already has like a ridiculous number of everything anyway. I mean, what does she even need more stats for? Like, I probably got tired of clicking. Like, I was probably sitting here clicking for like 10 years. And I was just like, I don't want to click anymore. Don't make me. And got like carpal tunnel and died from clicking. Lord, this is taking a long time. Click it. Baby, click it good. Gotta click it. Gotta click it. Click it good. There. I feel better now. So, she has max everything. She's got max energy shield. She's got maximum on all the frozen armor, the frost nova. She's got all the armors. I don't even know which armor I would use. Shiver armor, maybe? I don't know. I always liked frozen armor because it actually froze the targets, which I thought was kind of cool. She's got max thunderstorm. I can't even cast that here. I gotta go outside town. I'm just OP though. Get out. Might as well enchant my weapon. Summon a couple meteors. Cast some hydras everywhere. Freaking static field. Oh yeah, I got charge bolt. Oh. Look at how stupid that is. Like, look at how many charge bolts there are. It's like 24 bolts, and you can get it way higher than that. Like, you hit somebody with all 24 bolts. It's a pretty significant amount of damage. You just like go walk right up to them, just like this, and you just murder them. Of course, you can always use static field. To pretty much remove anybody's HP. Once you get like fast cast, like really good fast cast, you can literally just sit there and go like until everybody's health is just completely gone. You know, the Novas are pretty cool. I always love playing with the Novas. I think a Nova Sword would be really fun. Especially if you can do it fast enough. Like you're just like need the mana regen for that though. And then, of course, you got good old Frozen Orb. You got Blizzard. Got good old Glacial Spike. Got the Fireball. I always thought the Fireball was kind of cool. And then, you know, Blaze, so you can just walk around and burn everyone. Who doesn't want to walk around and burn everyone? Just make a wall of fire. Get a big old wall of fire. Get a big old wall of fire. Oh, where are you going? You ain't going nowhere. See, now I wish I could uncast Thunderstorm, because it just murders everyone. And in PvP, it's actually kind of broken, because you don't actually have to hit anyone with it. You don't actually have to do anything, except just be OP. It's actually really rude. A really rude skill. Just so rude. Anyway, yeah, super hacked characters. Super hacked. Don't even know why I decided to do this, but yeah, you know. Level 20 all skills character. Definitely leaving Inferno here. Punks, look at my long Inferno. 14.6 yard Inferno. Y'all don't even know. I bet you it goes across the bridge. Yeah, it's just awesome. Alright, so let's go play around with a Tankazon. So, first off, let's discuss what a Tankazon is. You know, this is obviously a video specifically about Tankazons. And I'd like to very briefly go over what a Tankazon is. So, Amazons have an entire tree called passive and magic skills. And passive and magic skills give very amazing bonuses. First off, you get Critical Strike, which increases your damage by double as long as you get the hit. So you get a 16% chance with your first Critical Strike, and then so forth and so on. And as the levels progress, you get better and better and better. You get Penetrate, which increases your attack rating. So you can have a very, very high attack rating, so make sure you're not missing targets. You've got Pierce, which is mainly used for projectiles. But it basically allows your projectiles to go through the target and hit another target behind it. You got Dodge, Avoid, and Evade. All three of these are very specific. So Dodge is for melee attacks, Avoid is for ranged attacks, and then Evade is while you're moving, you have a chance of dodging attacks. So you beef up all three of these. You beef up this one, you beef up this one. Your character becomes quite powerful indeed. You can actually get these dodges to the point where they're hardly giving you anything in percentage, but you have a percent chance to dodge by like 75%, basically every single time someone attacks you. And then all of these passives actually go to help your Valkyrie. So your Valkyrie can actually be quite powerful, and as a passive Amazon, you're not really going to have very much else to put your points into. You're going to beef up Critical Strike to the point where it isn't worth it anymore. You're going to beef up penetrate to the point where it isn't worth it anymore. You're going to beef up dodge, avoid, and evade to the point where they're not worth it anymore. And then once you've finished beefing up these 5 skills, that's it. So all you've got left to do is beef up your Valkyrie. Your Valkyrie, like I said, gets bonuses from every single one of these that you're putting points into. So a max level Valkyrie on a Tankazon is actually very viable and can do a considerable amount of damage. They actually have random effects. Well, it's not really random per se. Like when you summon your Valkyrie, you can actually see her armor and her weapon will change color. Like sometimes it will be black or green or red. This is actually an indication of how good she has spawned. And basically the gear that she can spawn with is determined by her level. So the higher level she is, the better the gear is that she will equip. And in essence, having a second, creature there to take damage is also going to make you take less damage. Except for AoE attacks, of course. Now, Tankazons tend to be built one of 2 ways. Either you go with a sword and board, or you go with a 2-handed weapon. And in fact, many Tankazons actually do both. One of the biggest issues with Tankazons, however, is that they are very difficult to build from scratch. So if you have never played Diablo 2, if you don't have any items sitting around in storage, if you're just going to run out into Act 1 as a Amazon and try to be a Tankazon, it is a little bit difficult. And what I would recommend is that you at least try and get her some gear to augment the character, because she's going to need it. Trust me. You could do the first couple levels out here just attacking things, because that's kind of how things are balanced. So at least Act 1, probably up to Andariel, is possible without getting any special equipment whatsoever. Just simply because everything is sort of balanced around Act 1, allowing you to sort of just do your thing. I kind of want to click on this exploding shrine because it'll give me good money. Exploding potions are actually worth quite a bit, but the shrine explodes and tries to kill you. Yay, exploding potions! Got a good... What you barking at, Flo? She doesn't normally bark. It's quite odd. Into the den of evil. So as you can imagine, if you're building a Tankazon, your first point is probably going to be into Critical Strike and Inner Sight. I would, however, recommend that if you're building a Tankazon, do yourself a favor and put at least 1 point into Jab. You can still build Sword and Board with Jab. You just have to use a Javelin. And a lot of Javelins are actually quite good. You can get ones with plus to Amazon skills on them, etc. And Jab is kind of, I don't want to say it's Zeal, but it's kind of like Zeal. It attacks basically 3 times in quick succession on one target, and it's much better than your basic attack. You could put a couple points into it if you want to, but honestly, it's a one-hit wonder skill. Just having the ability to attack 3 times in quick succession is far better than the single attacks. And let me show you here. So I'm going to go ahead and take 1 point and put it into Jab. And we're going to throw that on our skill bar. See if I can find a monster that actually takes more than 1 hit to kill. Hey, what's up, Valentino? Good to see you. Did you happen to catch my Perseverance stream? Oh yeah, you were there. That game was pretty cool. I almost forgot. Sir. So you'll actually find a lot of good rare, javelins as well. Like javelins are very easy to find in this game because there's so many of them. In quite a few of my playthroughs just recently, I literally found so many javelins, it was ridiculous. A lot of them very good. In fact, there's one javelin, I think it's like level 19, is on, I think it's on my Necromancer. It's plus 1 to all Amazon skills. That's pretty good damage. I'm probably going to end up using that when this tank is on. Now, you might be asking, how am I going to transfer that equipment? Well, if this was Diablo II Resurrected, I would be able to just use my shared stash. But since it's not Diablo II Resurrected, and we're just crafting for Diablo II Resurrected, I'm going to have to use my program called Go Mule. So it basically allows me to swap gear in between characters, which I really enjoy having that ability. Ooh, some rare leather gloves. I will take it. Stop summoning your dead cousins. I already beat that game, Valentino. Dead at Night is fun, but I mean I already beat it. Why do you want me to play Dead at Night again? You just like seeing me get scared by Jimmy. That's all. That's all it is. I know. You don't gotta tell me. You just giggle and laugh when Jimmy bashes me on the back of the head with his little billy club. Corpse fire, die. See what I mean? We already got a rare javelin, just like that. And there's a lot of pretty good javelins. Like as you progress forward, obviously you're not going to find any unique javelins. And when you get to a certain level, you may have that special unique item that you might want to throw on your Amazon, specifically for, you know, your Tankazon. And you don't have to go with a sword and board on a Tankazon. Like I was saying earlier, you can also go with a two-handed weapon. I mean, yes, it is scary. Dead at Night was actually a very scary game. There was a lot to it. Like, I felt like the people who made it really put a lot of thought into it. So, first thing we're going to grab, now that we have an extra skill point, is Critical Strike. So the chance to do double damage is something we really can't pass up on. Just in general, that's too good to pass up ever. And as we progress forward, we will get to the point where we're going to be doing double damage pretty much with every hit. So, you know, like for instance, you know, once you get your critical strike up to a certain point where it's like 75% chance, you can pretty much just count your, you know, like 1 to 5 damage as 2 to 10 damage. Maybe not quite exactly as that, but you get what I mean. Oh, the stamina. Dude, I swear, Jimmy, I couldn't understand like how he would even catch me sometimes. Like, there's this whole dynamic built into the game where you look through the door, the door peepholes. You try and make sure that you're not going to get hit by Jimmy. You know, you wait for him to walk by. Maybe you wait for him to walk by twice. You know, you listen for him. And then, you know, you're 100% sure that it's safe. And you go outside and he's literally standing outside the door. And, like, conks you on the head. And I never quite understood that. That last part was frustrating. It was super frustrating. Because you had to basically save those 5 girls and escape without getting hit by Jimmy even one time.
Perhaps.
And that was I died a whole bunch of times on that.
You have cleansed.
You have cleansed the den of evil. I don't have enough gold for nothing. Here, take these potions. I got a hat. I got also javelin. Got lightning damage on it. Cross this charm. All right. So we got another point. We might as well go ahead and, for the time being, we'll chuck some into
Hello.
vitality, just so we actually have some stamina for running,
Well, my rogues.
which would be nice. Man, Jimmy not old, and Jimmy not old. He's spry.
Hi there. I'm.
He one of them spry people. He'd be chasing you down.
Good day.
Alright, so now that we've got 1 point into critical strike and we've got 1 point into jab, we're going to throw 1 point into inner sight. So inner sight reduces the enemy defense and it lights them up. And as a skill, you might not want to like sink points into it or anything, but it's definitely going to be one of those things that you're going to want to at least grab, because it lights up targets, makes them super easy to see, makes them easier to hit, and it's on the way to Valkyrie if you do want to get Valkyrie. So you're going to have to at least put 1 point into it. No, I went to EXP Shrine. The skill shrine doesn't do anything for me right now, really. So I believe when you gear up a character from another character, it's actually called a twink or something. So that's kind of what you have to do with a Tankazon, is you kind of have to twink them out, I think is the term. And that's what I'm going to do here in a minute. There's no reason to do it right now. I'm only level 3. But we could. I mean, I don't see... we haven't really done very much on the character yet, so... You know, let's go ahead. So I'm going to open up this program I have. It's called Go Mule. And I'm going to put it up on the screen so you guys can see it. So, you know, say for instance, if you don't want to get Diablo II Resurrected for some reason, you know, and you just want to have some fun playing single player Diablo II Lord of Destruction, you know, you could do that. There's no reason why not. I'm going to bink, pull up Go Mule. Okay, here we go. Can I... There we go. Alright, I'm going to bring this, make it look bigger. Guess look real big. And here's a Go Mule. Alright, so in Go Mule, you basically take a look at your characters. And I need to just save and exit. Okay, good. Alright, so you open up your 2 characters here. And we're going to drag these apart. Come on. I can't see. Make sure that still looks good on OBS. It does not. Here we go. So this is the contents of my 2 characters, the Amazon and the Paladin. Or sorry, the Necromancer and the Paladin. Now I need to open up the new character, the Tankazon. And as you can see, my Tankazon is a pitiful, poor. Very pitiful and poor. Indeed. So we're going to take some items from my other 2 characters that I don't need anymore. So I really don't need Sander's Taboo on the Necromancer. So we're going to go ahead and snatch that and bring it over here. I believe... Oops, I did not mean to do that. I don't want to touch your cube, sir. Cathid's Visage is completely useless to my Paladin. That could totally come over here. This axe could be a super cool Tankazon weapon. The Chieftain Axe, that could be really nice. I have extra Sanders boots. She could use those. Let's see. What else do I have that I could give her? This claymore is actually really nice, and I'd actually been hanging on to this claymore for some specific purpose. It has fairly good stats. It's a 4% lifesteal, has attack rating. It's got 2 extra sockets in it, so you can throw a bunch of cool things in there if you want to. But do be careful if you load something like that with sockets or gems. The gems have level requirements too. So the level requirement on this is 26. Or sorry, 12. But if you were to throw in, like for instance, a perfect gems require level 18, and then so forth. You know, the level of the requirement of the item would go up to level 18. Like this dual rune has a level requirement of 31, and so forth and so on. So when you're dealing with low-level characters, be careful about socketing in items that may cause issues. All right, I don't really need to give her a bow. This is level 13. It's a fairly nice suit of armor for level 13. That would actually be really good for her. And these are his. Let's see what else I can give my Tankazon. Hawkmail. Why does he have Hawkmail sitting in here? It's not on the mercenary. The mercenary is wearing Venom Ward. Hawkmail would actually be really good for her. Much better than this one, actually. This one is level 13. This one is level 15, so she can definitely wear this one first. Let's go ahead and throw it in here just to be safe. And then we can give her an amulet of some kind. I know I got a bunch of amulets lying around. I got one that's kind of a low level. +1 to fire skill sorceress. 4% lifesteal ring, level 10. That's pretty good. And what else can we give her? I mean, we can give her the Mana Steel amulet. I don't see why not. She doesn't necessarily need it, though, unless I'm using Jab. I think that's good enough. And you know what? I might as well sling her, since my other characters are rich. We'll sling her a tome of Temp Portal and a tome of other. And you know, I got all these stupid little charms. I wonder if I got any really low-level charms. Level 5, +1 to dexterity. And now she's twinked out. So we're going to file save all those changes. And then we're going to close this. So now when we log back in, we will have the changes to the characters. So hold on. Valentino said, when I reach 1K subscribers, what am I going to do? Well, what, Gundog? I'm probably going to do a giveaway, to be honest. I usually do giveaways to celebrate specific, you know, milestones, and that would definitely be a milestone, for sure. Honestly, I honestly never expected to get past like 20 or 30 subscribers, but I kept at it, and before too long, all of a sudden I was getting up there, and I really appreciate everyone who has subscribed. It means a lot to me. It's not it's not something, you know, like I ever really expected. I just wanted to play games, and I love playing games. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start playing games online, you know, with other people so that they can see and have fun playing games like I do. And, you know,
Greetings.
it's just one of those things that's really cool. I should give myself some gold, too. I'm an idiot. Well, none of the items that I transferred over, except for the Tome of Town Portal and the Tome of Identify, are useful to me at all. So we're going to go ahead and move right along. Flo, what you barking at, girl? Her name is Flo. She's named after the Progressive car insurance lady. We did not name her. She was named by my girlfriend's father. I'm not sure what she's barking at. Probably one of the cats. She don't like cats. I've never seen a dog that like absolutely hates cats. Oh, she didn't hate all cats either. She hates like one or two of them. Maybe they were mean to her. They walk by her and she's just rude to them. She's just extremely rude. She's like, look here. I don't like you. And I'm gonna let you know it. And she just like lays in the middle of the floor, and so the cats are trying to like sneak by her. She just barks at them. It's hilarious. She's like the little like gate guardian keeper of the like the hallways. Hey, Dax. What's up, Flavy? The memories. You always knew you were close to the exit to Bloodmore when you saw Flavy on his name on the map. Let's go, Flavy. We ain't got time. And the Coldmore waypoint. They always give you that one. They're like, here, have this one. The rest of them, the rest of the waypoints, you gotta find. We hit them. Everywhere. Just randomly. Just like slap a waypoint like all the way in the corner of a map. Why is it over here? All the way in the corner of the map. What's up, Angel Avalos? How's it been going? How's the wife and kids? Did you get him the new Nintendo Switch yet? Oh, speaking of Nintendo Switch, did you hear that Nintendo denied that a new Nintendo Switch was coming out? And you might be thinking, well, they denied it. Well, here's the funny thing about Nintendo. If you've been following them for a long time, like I have been, you will know that Nintendo has a tendency to deny things that are true. It's the weirdest thing. When the new 3DS was coming out, and everybody seemed to know that it was coming out, but Nintendo hadn't confirmed it, and it started to get around a rumor that the new 3DS was coming out soon. Nintendo released a press release and said that the new Nintendo 3DS was not a thing, and it was not coming out, and that it didn't exist, right? And then a month later, they announced that the new 3DS was coming out. And they've done this over and over again with various things. Like, for instance, when the Wii U was being discontinued, there was a news article that went around saying that the Wii U was being discontinued, and Nintendo decided that they wanted to put out a public statement saying that the Wii U was not being discontinued and they were going to be supporting it for years to come. And then literally like a month later, again, they put out a press release and said the Wii U was being discontinued. And they've done it so many times now that people will actually take Nintendo denying something as a admission, as it were, because their denials almost always seem to come shortly before an announcement for the very exact thing that they denied, not 2 or 3 months or weeks later, well, you know, beforehand. So I think Nintendo just confirmed that the new Nintendo Switch is coming soon. Other news. So there is some interesting news about Diablo II Resurrected. So Diablo II Resurrected is going to be supporting save files from the single-player version of the game in the new one. So for instance, this Tankazon that I'm playing right now, when Diablo II Resurrected comes out, I will be able to convert this Tankazon to Diablo II Resurrected and play it on the new system. Pretty cool, huh? And what that means even more is that I'll probably be able to play this Tankazon on my Nintendo Switch, because cross-progression means that I should be able to transfer my save files in between systems. So I should be able to actually load this Tankazon up on my Nintendo Switch and play it when Diablo II Resurrected comes out. And how cool is that? Suck it, suck it. Oh lord, look at all these monsters. Look at the points in strength. Look at stronger. So obviously Tankazons are going to be built very tanky. So you're going to put only just enough points you need to actually wield your equipment. You're going to rely a lot on plus strength and plus dexterity to get you to where you need there. And then pretty much the rest of your points are going to be put into HP. Because you're going to want as much HP as you possibly get. Because to augment the fact that you can dodge everything, you're also going to want to be able to take a hit as well. So you're going to want to have to build resistances. Well, Charmaster 969. I do think it's actually going to be really good. So let me pull up something real quick, and I'm going to read it. There is this quote by one of the developers, and it gave me a lot of hope on this. All right, so I want you guys to hear this. Kind of gonna be off screen for a second. So they said, "Will Resurrected get any balance changes?" And the answer to the question was no. Very clearly, will there be no changes to skills, stats, drops, etc. Now, the exact quote from Andre Abrahamian, that's the lead designer for Diablo II Resurrected, was, "At its core, we want this to still be the same." So right away, the balance, the monsters you see, spawn rates, items, drops, and things like that are the same. What we're doing is trying to take any of the rough edges you see, compatibility issues, resolution issues, and obviously the art, improving the art as well. All these kinds of things you see, you come to know from a remaster, but still very much maintaining what the game is. So in this quote, I feel like he has captured very well the essence of, I think, what most Diablo 2 players want out of Diablo 2 Resurrected. They want a game that is very much identical to Diablo 2 as it is now, but they don't like the fact that it's not widescreen. You know, like right now I'm playing on a stream, and I can't even really stream it widescreen without getting a whole bunch of mods and changing the game around. You know, there are aspects of the original game that we did not like. Like, for instance, we couldn't share items between characters. If you played single player and single player only, there was no way to transfer items between characters built into the game. You had to go online to transfer items between characters, and then you had to have somebody help you. Or you had to have a game that was open and hope that the game wouldn't close before you got back to try and get your gear. You know, there's various small changes that they're making that I think will have a very good effect on Diablo as a whole. But they seem to be sincere in their desire to keep Diablo as close to the original as possible. And the other thing that gives me a lot of hope in this is that they have literally said that the original Diablo is underneath this game, literally playing under the surface. So if I can, the best way for me to explain this is they've basically said that the original Diablo game, the one that I'm playing right now, is like a skeleton or like a puppet hand underneath of the new game. So literally the new game is on top of the old game like a puppet, and the new game is moving around, and the old game is moving around, and the new game is basically just doing exactly what the old game tells it to do, with minor changes here and there. One of the things that they changed was Diablo 2 runs at 25 frames per second. 25 FPS is quite poor. A lot of people nowadays aren't even satisfied with 30 frames per second, and 25 frames per second is just awful. But the problem with Diablo 2 always is the game was based around that 25 frames per second. If you changed the 25 frames per second, you changed the game and the way the game worked. So they couldn't do that. And that's why this whole skeleton underneath and the puppet on top works, because the puppet on top is running at 60 frames per second at 4K resolution and all this good stuff, and the skeleton underneath is still running at 25 frames. The skeleton underneath is still essentially the same game that I'm playing right now. And that's one of the reasons why they're going to have it so that you can transfer your characters, is because if the original game is still there just underneath the surface, then of course the characters are going to be able to transfer. I'm told that there's even going to be a toggle where you can change from the new version back to the old version, and you can see what the old version looked like and play as the old version if that's what you want to do, which will be pretty funny, to be honest. Is 1 dexterity better than 11 to attack rating? Looks like the answer is no. Die. Look, quit resurrecting people. Alright, we ain't got time for all that. I don't get no EXP from these monsters you resurrect. Right? You should know that. So, one of the main issues with a Tankazon, and it's something you're going to find out if you build it yourself, or you may already know, because you may have already built one yourself. Or you can just surmise from the fact that you're going to be a melee character with no skills. In Hell difficulty, there are monsters that are physical immune. And not only that, but a lot of the monsters in Hell difficulty are actually highly resistant to physical damage. So as you go forward in Hell difficulty and in the Nightmare, you start to realize that physical damage alone isn't really enough, and that's why a lot of classes have, obviously, elemental skills or ways to convert their damage into magic, or any other number of ways to create a different form of damage other than physical. Now, the Tankazon, if you're playing a pure Tankazon, has none of those, because even her melee skills are physical. So if you go over to Javelin and Spear skills and you look, Impale, Jab, and Fend are all physical damage. Now granted, Impale does a rather large amount of damage, but it's still physical damage, and physical damage is not going to get you very far all by itself. So what is the answer to that? Well, you have to build into elements. You have to get a weapon that has elemental damage on it. You have to find a way to apply elemental damage to your attacks. There are also things you can use like Crushing Blow, So Crushing Blow is a very interesting mechanic where essentially when you hit a target, there is a % chance that you will do a percentage of the monster's health instead of a a regular hit. So take for instance, if you had a monster that had 1,000 health. If you hit him for 50 damage, that's 50 damage. But if you hit him for 50% of his health, 50% of his health would be 500 damage. And no matter how much health a target has, if Crushing Blow works on it, which there are some monsters that Crushing Blow does not work on. If Crushing Blow works on the target, you literally will take away a very large portion of their health immediately in one hit. Now the downside to Crushing Blow is that it only works on their current HP, not their maximum. So the lower their HP gets, the less damage Crushing Blow does. So it's very, very useful at the start of a fight when a monster has, say, 1,000,000 health, and you hit him one time and do literally 500,000 damage. But each time you do damage to him, your Crushing Blow is going to do less and less and less. When that happens, you're going to be more reliant on your own physical or elemental damage to finish off the target. Crushing Blow can't actually kill a target, and that's the thing. Even if your target had 2 health, if you hit him with Crushing Blow, and just say, for instance, Crushing Blow did 50% of a monster's health, they would still only take 1 damage down to 1. So 2 would go to 1. And then you would hit them again with Crushing Blow, and it wouldn't even kill them because you can't do a half point of damage anyway. So you would have to hit him with your physical damage and actually hit him and kill him. There's another skill like that. It's on Sorceress. It's called Static Charge, I think. Static. I can't remember exactly the name of it. It does a percentage-based damage as well. And it's very useful at the start of a battle. You just simply spam it on a target, get them as low as you possibly can, and then you finish them off with whatever spell you actually do your damage with. In fact, if you play a sorceress of any kind, lightning, fire, cold, or any mix thereof of the 3, static is one skill that you definitely want to have on every single one. And the reason why is because it's just that amazing of a skill. Percentage-based damage is something that you really have no argument against. Alright? A monster could come up to you with 7 trillion HP, and if you have a way to reduce his HP by percentage, it's going to dwarf any skill that you have on your bar. Because you're just going to be able to hit one button, cha-ching, and literally deal just a massive portion of his HP just gone like that. There are other skills like that. Like, for instance, Necromancer has one. It's called Corpse Explosion. It's not as good as Static or Crushing Blow. It's actually sort of a little different. The way that it works is it does 80 to 120% of the damage, of the HP in damage of the monster that you explode. And monsters do happen to have a rather large hit point pool. So if you have 2 identical monsters standing next to each other, and you blow up one corpse of that monster next to one that's still alive, 80% of the same monster's HP is probably going to do a lot of damage, if not kill, the identical monster next to it. So Corpse Explosion also ends up being a very powerful skill, because again, it's percentage-based damage. There's not a lot of percentage-based damage in this game. In fact, I think there's only like 3 skills right off the top of my head. There might be one more. I might be forgetting, but I'm not sure. Alright, so at this point, we're not going to put another point in the inner side, because I really don't want to. And we can't get a dodge until level 6, so we're actually going to throw another point into Critical Strike. 32% chance for a double damage is pretty nice. And at this point, we're going to throw some more points into Strength. Mainly because I am actually going to need some of this to actually equip this gear. So what do we have that we can equip first? We'll start carrying that with us so we can actually put it on. Let's sell that. So we got a level 10 4% lifesteal ring. That's going to come in super handy. And then Cathan's Visage is level 11. And the Mana Amulet is level 11. And the rest of the stuff is pretty high. Oh wow, this Maiden Javelin has 2 to 201 lightning damage on it. Speaking of elemental damage, there you go. We have, so when we get that, we're going to be able to have basically around 200 extra damage just stacked onto our damage normally. The Stormmark Claymore is level 12. That's going to come in pretty handy. We're going to have to give her some gems when she finally does get to that point.
Good evening.
And you know what's going to be fun is when Diablo II Resurrected come out, I'm going to transfer these characters. I think it's going to be funny. And then we're going to play these same exact characters that I'm playing right now on stream on the new game. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do this or when I'm going to be able to transfer the characters, but that we're going to do it because I think it's hilarious. Alright, so we need to go through the dark wood. We also need to find the Stony Fields waypoint. Alright, so that's the underground passage. Let's find the waypoint first before we go back, because we need that to come back. Look here, ma'am. You got time for all that. So I really want to hear from you guys. There's a lot of questions, a lot of things that, the choices, I guess, that people are trying to make about Diablo II Resurrected. They want to see certain things about the game, and I can understand. So I'm going to ask a couple questions, and I'd love it if any of you all would respond. You know, your personal opinion. Personal loot versus global loot. So would you like the current way that the game deals with loot is to drop everything on the ground, and everybody has a chance to pick up everything, no matter what. Okay, it's called global loot, and everybody has a share in global loot. If you want something, you pick it up. If you don't want something, you don't. It's a race to see who picks up what item first. Some people don't like global loot, and they want what's called single-player loot, which basically means that every person gets their own loot, but nobody. And I'm going to make this clear: nobody is getting more loot than the global loot system. So basically, if you have 8 people in a game, they're basically saying, like, for instance, let's say you had 80 items that would drop every 10 minutes. In a single-player loot system, 10 items would drop a minute for you because you are one player divided into 8. Or your 80 items divided into one player. They're not going to give you 80 items by yourself, because that would be ridiculous. Otherwise, what would happen is you'd have 8 players all getting 80 items per minute, and that would be 80 times 8, which is a ridiculous number of items. And it would just sort of flood the market. So the general idea is either you get a share of the total, or you get a chance to get all of it. Personally, I've always felt like the chance at everything was cooler than the 1/8 of what drops. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. Another controversial subject that currently is floating around is the charm inventory. So there are some people out there that feel that charms should not be limited to the amount of storage space that you're willing to give up for it. So what they want is they want a separate inventory specifically for charms, just so that you can fill it with charms and not have to worry about the fact that it's full. Now, I think there's a couple interesting arguments for charm inventories. First off, I feel like you have to address the fact that I feel charms were deliberately designed to hog inventory space. Like, I don't feel like you can say that charms were not designed to hog inventory space. They're big, they're obnoxious, they have stats that you would definitely like to have, but at the same time, you don't want to give up your inventory space for those stats. So you're forced to make compromises to have a half-full inventory or to leave just a couple spots open. A lot of the times I would prune my my charms, and I would sell all the ones that I just didn't really feel like were worth hanging on to. And everybody makes a personal judgment on the charms. You know, they're thinking, oh, well, this particular charm is not really worth me losing 3 inventory spots for. But this one certainly is, because the effects on this one are just amazing. And you know, and so forth and so on. And through this process, we would come to a conclusion of, you know, how much inventory space we were willing to sacrifice for X number of charms. And I always thought this was just part of the game. But some people, basically what they want is they want an entire separate inventory that they can just fill with charms completely to the brim and not have to worry about it, because they want all that inventory space and the charms too. Now, I can certainly see why they might want this, because, you know, there are a lot of very, very good charms. For instance, one of the best charms out there is a +1 to all skills in a particular tree. So if you have, for instance, say a paladin and you're using offensive auras, you may want +1 to offensive auras charm. And that +1 to offensive auras charm is going to give you a lot of benefit, just simply because you can stack, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. You completely sacrifice all your inventory space by doing so, but you can have 10 of them in your inventory, and you can have +10 to all of your offensive auras. So if you're, for instance, if you're running a level 20 concentration aura or a level 20 fanaticism aura, you're going to have level 30 concentration or level 30 fanaticism. But in doing so, you have no inventory space left on your character whatsoever, and you're kind of screwed if something good drops. Because what are you going to do? Drop one of your rare +1 charms? Alright, so we've got our first skill, Dodge. So we're going to go ahead and blink our point into Dodge. Now you see it's 18% when it starts, and it starts to curve upward, and 24%, and then so forth and so on. And the more points you put into it, the higher that's going to be. Now when you first start out, Dodge is only going to help you when you're standing still. So you can't be moving. As soon as you move, you lose that Dodge. Later on, you're going to get Evade, which will let you dodge your melee and missile attacks while moving. And that one's going to be helpful. But until then, you kind of have to stand still to get your tankiness up till level 24. So you got quite a ways to go before you obtain your full tankiness ability. It's recommended that when you're in battles, just try and keep yourself still. That way you are still getting your evades. Now, of course, I don't have the ranged evade yet, so all these archers are just going to murder me. I just have the melee evade. So this is the melee evade, this is the ranged evade. You really kind of have to have all three to make it work. So for a little while, your character is kind of weak. Go ahead and pop a portal here. Punk. Caliento. Kakanishu. Look here, punk. Lord, they got some damage on them, don't they? Alright, so we're going to build a little bit more into... Actually, no, let's go back to town real quick, and let's take a look at this gear so that we actually know what we're building towards. So this is 33 strength. Okay. My sword here is 47 strength, which I don't have anywhere near enough. The two-handed weapon is 54 strength. Seems like strength is my main worry at this particular point. 70 strength for the armor. 44 strength for the hawkmail. So it doesn't look like I'm really worried about dexterity too much until I get to this point, where I need 47 for the javelin. So let's go ahead and beef this in strength for now.
Greetings.
Fire resist 7%. I'll take it. I need a belt.
What you need?
I need a belt. What you need? A belt. I need some shoes. Those are some pathetic shoes. I mean, I'll take them. They're pathetic. Don't think I didn't notice. Well, I got cracked quilted armor on. How does quilted armor crack, first off? I'm a little worried about that. Like, at what point does quilted armor just go and just crack? I can afford this 3-socketed freaking ring mail. Sounds freaking awesome to me. I mean, I don't have anything to put in it, but maybe I'll find a chipped gem here or there I can jam in there. That'll be fun. A little bit more survival going. These guys are dishing out the damage, I'll tell you what. Y'all can stop being punks anytime now. Alright? I ain't got my dodges yet. Still a pathetic little low-level Tankazon, alright? Don't be so rude. There, all your little minions are gone now. I hope you're happy. I'm coming back for you. Oh, you got one. You're one little minion doesn't mean anything to me. You're one little minion of patheticness. Pathetic. Die, Doom Eater. Your doom was eaten. Y'all stop dropping mana potions and give me a dang healing potion. Y'all act like I'm a sorceress or something. And if I was playing a sorceress, all you'd give me was health potions. I know it. Jab, 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 jab. Jab, jab, jab. I always thought jab was a really fun skill. I mean, it's no Zeal, but it's very fun. And it's very similar to Zeal in the way that it works. Because it's, you know, a very fast sort of multi-hit attack. But Zeal hits different targets, whereas Jab stabs the same one multiple times, which is fun. Although, you know, when the target that you're jabbing dies, I noticed that it does have a tendency to switch to a second jabbing target, which is kind of funny. It's like, oh, that guy's dead, I'm gonna jab you instead. Jabby, jab, jab, jab. I actually really thought it would be possible to build an entire character around Jab. It's just a fun skill. Okay, yeah, Rockanishi, right? Yeah. Jab, jab, jab. Paladin only. Yeah, Paladin only. Quit making noises at me. Oh, y'all are rude, okay? Nobody wants to hear you. Nothing you got to say. Nobody wants to be resin people neither. Don't be resin people. Rude. Okay, you did. Okay, you double did. So another one of the features that they're going to add to the game is auto gold. Now, I don't really feel like auto gold is a controversial subject. And I didn't really think anyone else did either, but apparently there are people out there who feel it is a controversial subject. I don't really know why, but what do you feel about auto gold pickup? Do you feel like they should leave it alone and let everyone pick up every individual stack of gold themselves? Or do you think the ability to pick up gold as you walk around instead of actually clicking on it is a good thing? Now, they explained it in the video very simply as they were trying to mitigate clicking on of items with a controller. So apparently there is an issue, like when they translate the game to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox, the Nintendo Switch, where you have to click on items to pick them up, and I guess they felt that the picking up of the gold was a lot, like a whole lot with the controller. So they kind of felt like the auto gold pickup on the consoles was needed, whereas maybe it's not so much needed on the PC versions. But they did say it was going to be a toggle, so you can turn it on and off if you want. I personally don't see an issue with it, not necessarily because it's not going to pick up more gold, because it will. There's definitely a lot of little small stacks, like this little 2 on the ground here, that most people would just avoid entirely. What I'm trying to say is that gold isn't really that valuable in Diablo 2. It's useful. Like, I will say that much. The gold is definitely a useful thing. But it's not like gold is so amazing that it will somehow change the game fundamentally if you have too much of it. Pretty much the best thing you can do with gold is repair your armor, buy potions, buy Tomes of Town Portal, Tomes of Identify, and gamble. Now granted, you can also buy equipment from the vendors, but the equipment that comes from the vendors is not very good. About the only equipment that you're going to get from the vendors that's any good is stuff like this socketed stuff that you can put gems into. So for instance, I'm going to take this chip gem and throw it into this gemmed ringmail. Now granted, there are some much better things that you can socket into equipment later on in the game, but if you really want a socketed item that's in the shop, I mean, you're going to buy it. Like I said, gold's not that difficult to come by. So at the end of the day, I just don't really feel like a system that allows you to pick up gold automatically is really going to, in any way, really affect Diablo. Except for maybe, those people who actually liked to pick up all the gold. Click, click, click. I mean, it was kind of fun. It is kind of fun, especially when you go into a room that's filled with gold. You just start clicking. Just clicking like mad. So I was actually talking about some pretty fun things on Discord. If you don't know, there's a couple of good Diablo II Resurrected Discords already. And if any of you guys would like the link, I can try and can get you one. There's a lot of fun Diablo 2 chat on there. I gamble for 2/20 FCR rare circlets and +2 rare amulets. Yes, rare circlets, like the +2 circlets, are actually really good to gamble for, and the amulets too. Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good use of the gold, but there's no guarantee that you're gonna get it. And this was my argument with the gold is that you pick up all the big stacks anyway, and you pick up all the items that are worth money anyway. The only stacks that you really didn't pick up were the small ones. So the auto gold pickup, really all it's going to do, it's going to get you some extra pocket change. It's probably not even going to add up to that much more money or gold over what you would normally pick up anyway. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So you got the rune word that reduces the vendor's price, and you got Gahid's charm as well, which what's that? The 300% extra gold find or whatever? I can't even remember what Gahid's charm is right off the top of my head. I remember it was a lot. another point in dodge. Let's go ahead and slam some more into strength. But you kind of get my point, is that I don't really feel like the auto gold pickups that drastic of a change. The extra space in the stash, I really love. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I always found a way to keep my items. If I wanted to keep them, I would mule them. I would give them to a friend. I would give them to my brother. Whatever I had to do, I would store an item away somehow, some way. So I never really felt like having such a limited stash was really such a big deal. So the addition of the shared stash and the ability to transfer characters, items between characters, I always felt like was really cool. Oh. Mm. Why don't you try using that little thing I got that scrubs it in? My girlfriend dyed her hair blonde, and now she's gonna put pink highlights in it. Right. So what are some of the other little changes that they're making? I'm trying to remember all of them from the Q&A. I have all those Q&As up on my page, by the way, if you want to watch them. And me babbling my mouth about the Q&As. %10 enhanced damage and +3 to minimum damage. We'll take it. Sweet. All right, so theory crafting. Okay, so I was playing around with some theories earlier today, and I wanted to okay, so we have all our mercenaries, right? We have the Act 1 mercenary, the Act 2 mercenary, the Act 3 mercenary, the Act 4, or the Act 5 mercenary, right? And the Act 5 mercenary and the Act 2 mercenary are arguably the most useful out of the whole set. I would say that the Act 3 mercenary is probably the most useless, but it's a close race. I feel like the Act 1 mercenary is a pretty close tie there. And what my theory is I wanted to see if there was a way that I could make the Act 3 mercenary useful. So I came across some interesting information regarding spells and certain skills, and basically what it says is that when you have like for instance, if you have a fire spell that explodes, so for instance like fireball, and there actually is a fireball Act 3 mercenary, and you have fire damage either enchanted onto you with the sorceress spell, or like holy fire, or if you have like a weapon that just has massive amounts of fire damage on it, that fire damage actually translates into the explosion of the fireball spell. So you can actually beef up the damage of the Act 3 mercenary by increasing his fire damage in a couple different ways. Like for instance, there is a rune word that gives a level 17 holy fire aura, which would increase his fire damage significantly. Or you could go the other way, and you could maybe go the lightning one, and you could give him a dream rune word, which would give him level 15 holy shock, which would hopefully in turn give him lightning damage to his lightning and spark. Unfortunately, there's no way to give an Act 3 mercenary holy freeze. There's no item, unfortunately, that has holy freeze on it that fits into one of his sockets. So that wouldn't be possible to increase his glacial spike or anything like that through one of those auras. But you might be able to do so in another way if you have an item that has a huge amount of cold damage on it, perhaps. And then I was thinking about the fact that the Act 3 mercenary has 4 slots, obviously. So you can put 4 different auras on him. You could have a fire Act 3 mercenary with thorns, like level 21 thorns. You could have level 17 holy shock on him. You could have level 17 defiance. You know, basically have 4 different items on him with 4 different auras, and then you'd have an Act 3 mercenary walking around with some pretty beefy support characteristics. But of course, you know, if you were a sorceress or something, it'd be far better to have an Act 2 mercenary with the conviction aura, which is, I believe it's infinity. You know, put infinity on a pole arm and then give it to your Act 3 mercenary so he can be beast. Hey, you got no more heroes, King Gahora? Cool. Do you like it? What you thinking about it? As you can see, the jab really does make quick work of targets. It's quite a nice little skill. And I always wanted to build a Jabazon, or a Tankazon around jab. I thought that would be a really fun way to build a Jabazon. We'll call her a Jabazon. How about that? That's right. Don't you be jealous of my Jabazon. What does she do? She jabs. She's a jabber. She jabs things. I jabbeth you. I jabbeth you. So I came across some other interesting things. So there actually is a really interesting build. It's called an Enchantress Sorceress. And the Enchantress Sorceress has a ability that allows her to enchant weapons with fire damage. It increases the attack rating of the weapon. And it can go really high, depending on the level. So if you max out enchant and you max out fire mastery, I think it goes up pretty considerably high. But it doesn't really work by itself. And then you get a weapon like the Demon Machine Choco Nu, which has piercing. So it will allow the arrows to pierce through targets. It also has exploding arrows. So when you fire the bow normally, it automatically makes exploding arrows. Then the fire damage from the enchant transfers to the exploding arrows, and when you pierce targets, every single time the target pierces, it explodes again. So you literally would fire into a crowd of like 10 monsters. It would pierce through 5 of them, exploding 5 times, dealing 5 times the amount of your enchant damage, plus the original exploding arrow damage, plus the enchant damage on your base arrow, blah, blah, blah. And you can really do a ton amount of damage just as simply as a enchant sorceress. I thought that was pretty cool. And the really cool thing about being an enchant sorceress, you could build something else. Like to beef up enchant to max, you'd put 20 points into warmth, you'd put 20 points into enchant, and 20 points into fire mastery. So you would be 60 points deep into the fire tree, and you would literally still have, like say you were to get that character to level 99, you would still technically have a rather large percentage of your points left to put into something else. You could build hydras or something. You could build any of the other fire things in the tree. You could even go into another tree like the lightning or the cold tree, and you could build something there and probably still be quite effective at it. Alright, so we got another level. Alright, so now we're going to put another point into... Let's put it in dodge. Hear them cats in the background just murring? They love to murr. Got another small shield. Let's see if it's any good. 10% faster hit recovery. I will take it. 10% faster hit recovery is a lot better than defense. When you get hit, there's a certain time limit you have before you get hit again, And once you get hit again, it's very difficult to, not sure what the term is. Once you get hit again, it's very difficult to come back from that and then not get hit again, which causes another hit recovery. And so if you're getting hit by multiple targets, sometimes they can lock you in a hit recovery loop where your character is trying to recover from the hits and can't. So you literally will not be able to do anything. So you have to have at least a decent amount of hit recovery so that that never happens. Caliento. Look here, skeletons. We got that. Come here, shaman. Skeleton, skeleton. Just gotta aim for the skeleton's spine. That's all it is. Aiming for your spine, spine, spine. Just aiming for your spine. Spine, spine, spine. California spiders, spine, spine, spine. California spiders, spine, spine, spine. Oh, such a spiny day. So another build I wanted to talk about is the Druid. So the Druid is a very interesting character with lots of different pathways that they can take. And the one that I'm kind of really interested in trying again, I think I tried it once before and I wasn't the greatest at it, is a Summoning Druid. Now, a Summoning Druid probably isn't the easiest character to build because anytime you're relying on your minions for damage, you have to be pretty dang sure that your minions are going to be able to kill things, especially in Hell. I mean, in normal mode, your minions can most likely kill just about anything, depending on their level. And in Nightmare difficulty, again, if they're high enough level, they can probably kill just about everything. But in Hell difficulty, most things are 50 to 75% physically damage immune, which makes them very difficult to kill in general by any minion, because mostly minions do physical damage. So you kind of have to find a way to allow your minions to do more than physical damage, I guess would be the term. Like with mercenaries, it's easy because you can equip them with gear. Ooh, poison and cold. I don't like it. Let's see if we can. We gotta stay moving. No! Your dang cold attacks. Take out all your minions. You can get none of these minions back. Ain't no refunds. Don't call minion refund or us later in the game. Ain't gonna happen. That's right. No refunds for you, sir. Have to hold on to that. So ethereal items are great for minions. You definitely want to give those to your minions. Let them utilize the ethereal gear because equipment does not break on your minions. So basically, once an ethereal item is broken, it's broken forever. Unless that ethereal item happens to have auto repair on it, which is very rare. And so you can take the cool thing about them though is that they are enhanced. So most ethereal items have some sort of feature about them which makes them better than a regular item. So this ethereal item, for instance, is enhanced defense, so 45 defense total. It's just something easy. I can sling on the minion, my mercenary, and let her equip. So Summoning Druid. So the Summoning Druid has a lot of different minions They've got the ravens, they've got the wolves, they've got the bear. They have these little carrion creatures that go around like eating corpses, which I think is so cool. And the graphics on them, they're amazing. They literally just like, the vines are like crawling under the earth and like reach up and like grab the corpses and like suck the life out of them. It's pretty cool. And then there's the spirits, and the spirits have effects like increased damage, increased health. One of them, I believe, is a thorns spirit, which gives your creatures thorns. Thorns damage is great for normal, and it's still moderately useful in Nightmare, but thorns damage almost becomes completely
Good day.
Useless in Hell difficulty, because again, thorns damage is mostly physical, or actually it's entirely physical, and thorns damage becomes useless because in Hell almost all the monsters are, like I said, 50 to like almost 75% physical immune, and then some of them are completely immune to physical damage, so it becomes next to impossible to damage anything in that kind of environment. So, Thorns is just, eh. But if I remember correctly, one of the biggest problems with the summoning Druid was you couldn't summon everything at the same time. So unlike the Necromancer, who can have, 10 skeletons, like 10 skeleton mages, 1 golem, 10 revives, etc. Your Druid doesn't have that option. Like, he has to build for strength instead of quantity, and that can be very difficult.
So, this is
because if you have
Dariel's atrocities.
If you have 10 skeletons, you have 10 mages, you have 10 revives, it's 30 monsters, and 30 monsters are all doing 200 damage apiece. That's 30 times 200, and so you're dishing out a pretty significant amount of damage per rotation. Whereas if you only have one monster, that one monster has to do about the same amount of damage as your 30 on the Necromancer, which is kind of impossible. A lot of summons are not really that great. They just aren't. Alright, so we are at level 9. We're going to go ahead and plink another point into Critical Strike. The higher we get that, the better. Just in general. We want our double damage to trigger as often as humanly possible. Alright. Now we're making our way pretty fast through Act 1. Of course, we did give ourselves some gear and some portals and some scrolls. And we really haven't put much of it on, though, have we? Let's clear out one more level before we can even use the first ring. Oh, I guess now would be a good time to talk about how to level up your character. So one of the easiest ways to level up your character in the very beginning, as opposed to just simply playing, is go to Stony Field, and what you're going to do is you're going to go to the place where you save Deckard Cain. So Deckard Cain is in the Tristram portal, and you go in there and you basically kill Griswold over and over again. There is a small period of leveling. It's in between. It's like I can't remember. I think it's like level 12 or something like that, where you're kind of restricted in the amount of EXP you can get from monsters too high above your level. It's kind of like a soft cap. And you can still get EXP from anything above that point, but it's severely limited. So like if you were to take like a level 1 character, for instance, and bring him to, Act 5, hell and start killing monsters, it's not going to benefit you as much as you would think, because they're going to extremely limit the amount of EXP that you're getting from those monsters. But the cool thing is that Act 1, Tristram, is a good place to get your character past that bump. And then once your character is past that bump, you can level up pretty much anywhere you want. 11 to 25. It's not really that much more than what I have. It does have a 5% chance to cast Amplify Damage, though, on striking, which is kind of interesting. Let's play around with that. Amplify Damage is a plus 100% damage bonus. It's a curse from the Necromancer. 5% is pretty low, though. Well, there it was. It casted, but I killed him in one hit anyway, so I gotta kill those shamans. Thankfully, these guys actually cannot surround you. The Devilkins, as soon as something dies, doesn't matter what it is, they just run. Makes it very easy to escape when they surround you in a circle. Not all monsters do that. In fact, one monster in particular, I think, is like my bane, and that's the Demon Lords in... it's the ones that breathe Inferno Fire. They will just surround you and murder you with absolutely not a single shred of remorse. Some heavy boots. Nice. Stop being so rude, you guys got shits too, but that's okay, mine's cooler. So another thing you're going to want to get on a Tankazon, if you do intend to build Sword and Board, is you're going to want to get a shield that has very nice block percentage, block rate, and hit recovery. So hit recovery, block percentage, and block chance. You want all that to be very high, very, very high. And faster block rate. I think that's what I meant to say. Faster block rate. You want that to be high as well. Oh, look! It casted. Didn't hit anything. It casted. I don't know. The sword's kind of meh. Moving on with my life. Go back here. So this is where Inner Sight comes in handy, because Inner Sight is going to light things up for you. So you just like go to a room and you just cast it like this. And everything that you hit with Inner Sight is going to light up so you can actually see them better. Trouble hitting these things. Isn't there a secret on the wall over here somewhere? Look, skeletons. I ain't got time. Well, hello, Demon Cold Enchanted. Why don't you come over here in the doorway so I can not have to fight all of you at once? Oh lord, he's super cold enchanted, isn't he? Can't even hit him. There we go. Can I kill him before he kills me? Doesn't look like it. I really need that hawk mail to keep me from freezing.
Good evening.
And the lifesteal ring wasn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt either. It wouldn't. It wouldn't hurt. Oh my god, hit him. Hit him. So slow while I'm cold like this. And of course so when a cold enchanted monster dies, it explodes in a cold aura. Which is just brutal. It's just if you already couldn't take the cold damage in the first place, like literally as soon as you kill them, they just murder you. Literally just murder you. Murder. Hello, would you like to see my Lord and Savior murder? We've got sharks with frickin' laser beams on their frickin' heads. Sharks with frickin' laser beams. That's from Austin Powers, by the way. There's a lot of hidden panels on the walls, and I can never remember exactly where the hidden panels are. And I always end up checking, like, every wall. Because I can't remember. I mean, there's stairs over there. How do I get to them? How with all your fire? I have 5 fire resist, okay? I can take, like, a small burn from an oven. I'm not prepared for this. I think you guys are just rude. I'll just stop it. Ow. It burns so bad. And you got lightning too? Look at you prepared for your hell difficulty run. Like, I'm ready. Can't tell me nothing. Ain't gonna tell me nothing. Coming at ya with the retcha. Coming at ya now, gonna get you betcha. Yay, another level. So we're gonna keep splitting that between critical strike and dodge. And the reason is because if we stack them all in one, it's not really gonna do us much good. Alright, so we're gonna put trying to think how much unadulterated strength we have. Where's that strength coming from? Holy crap, we got a lot of plus strength. Jeez, we got we got a charm too, giving plus strength. Oh, so where's that other point of plus strength coming from? Energy, fast rate recovery, attack, light radius. There's no strength on that. I literally don't know where those other points of strength are coming from. Oh, here we go. Alright, so I'm at 50. Alright, let's head back to town real quick. We're gonna check and see how much we need for some of this gear. Because we're getting pretty close, and we can tweak ourselves up here in a minute. So we definitely need 47 for the claymore, which is in 2 levels. We need 70 for the armor, which is at level 13 in 3 levels. Alright, so that's not enough. We need 54 for the chieftain. We have enough strength for pretty much everything else. Alright, let's go ahead and put our lifesteal ring on. Why not? Still can't use anything else. Boo. we have lifesteal now, and lifesteal
What
is
can I do for you?
importante. Let's go ahead and plink a couple more points into strength for now. We're going to need to get that to at least 70 so we can don our Gothic plate at 13, and then we'll pick up the Hawk mail at 15. Stole that Herodic Malice from the queen.
Glad to have us back.
Did you not gonna make weapons out of nobody's bones? Calm down. Plus, I already got the Malice, and I could just run away. I don't even need to fight you. I don't even need to fight you. Do your boy here first. Oh, you got some DPS on you there, buddy. Whoa! You almost one-shot me, boy. That was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Ow. Ow.
Good to. Oh, thanks.
Ow.
Good evening.
It'd be nice to have a better shield, but do I take a chance and imbue a shield right now, or do I hold on to it and imbue a shield later? Let's check Mr. Gahid over here. Gahid, what do you got for me, Gahid? Get a whole bunch of junk. Junk. Look at all this junk. What you got that junk? It's that junk. It's that junk, junk, junk. I don't really want to imbue any of this crap, though. Like, it's all junk. I mean, I could imbue in a large shield, but a large shield's still not that great of a shield. I guess let me just go pick up some potions and see if we can finish off Mr. Meanie.
Good day.
Mr. Meanie. You know what I could do? I'm gonna make weapons from your bones! Javelins are so much better when thrown, too. Yeah, punk. Oh, wow. +3 to cleansing, +1 defiance, +1 to holy bolt. Not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, not bad. Crap. Hang on to that for later. Alright, we gotta get to these stairs. We got one more level till we can put our amulet on. And some other janks. Alright, so we need to go through that door, I think. This door, and then down. Hello there. Y'all could just back right on off. Not bad. Introduce you to my Lord and Savior Javelin. Oh, y'all just gonna roll in here like you own the place, huh? Y'all ain't paid around. See, that's what you get. Can't walk into this place you ain't paid a rent now. Chip in on the rent, and then maybe I'll let you in.
What nightmarish tortures took place here?
Crappy. Yo, Hello, Death Clan. I heard you like jabs to your face. Ah, yes. An excellent vintage. An excellent vintage of jabs. Aw, you guys are stuck inside there? It would be terrible if somebody just threw javelins at you from outside the prison walls and used something to light you up so you couldn't hide in the darkness.
Impossible.
No, I'm out of javelins! Charcy! Charcy, I need more javelins! Please! Please give me more javelins! Dang, that thing worth 5,000? I'm keeping that. We're gonna sell that in the next act. Let me go ahead and grab my little 11 amulet. Lillian. My Lillian helmet. Lillian. Lillian. Throw some more javelins at these suckers. Y'all stuck in it. Suckers can't open the door. Make me wish I can kill you. Take you out of your misery. Quit moving. Alright. You just delaying. You were just delaying the inevitable, sir. And that's all, and you know it. Switch back to my jab now. I feel like that hidden room is around here somewhere. Quit it. Stop shooting arrows at me. You two. You three. You quattro. New Select Quattro from Diablo 2. You won't even know you had hair left because the skin on your face will be gone. Oh, hell yeah. I'm going to play Diablo 2 Resurrected Battle.net. I had to reply for that one. That's a hell yes, sir. The reason why I'm not on Battle.net right now is because Battle.net right now is just completely full of duped items, botters, cheaters. I don't want to play on that in that kind of environment. When Diablo II Resurrected comes out, however, it will be on a new Battle.net system. There will be a fresh start for everybody. All those duped items will be gone. Granted, they probably will still be botters. You know, in any MMO that has ever come out, no matter how much they try, the botters still manage to survive. This is the secret room. It is. Ah, there's a chest in there. All right, so we have to find the correct panel, and it opens up. You guys will see. There we go. Secret room. Look here, you archers. It's my secret room. Sometimes they're disappointing. They're just like, there's like little evil summoning circles in them and like little skulls and crap. It's just kind of fun to find them. It's not necessarily like imperative or anything. But anyway, back to Diablo 2 Resurrected Battle.net. So yes, definitely going to play online on Battle.net. I'm actually really looking forward to a couple things about the new Battle.net. So first off, it's not going to be on the old Battle.net. So there are some key changes. So one of the evil things about Diablo 2 right now is that, say you make a character, and you get that character to level 99. You've had a very fun time with this character. You want to keep this character forever. Well, guess what? In the current Battle.net, if you do not log on within 90 days, goodbye, level 99 character. They just delete it. gone forever. Like, who came up with that horrible rule? It's horrible. So that's one of the things right off the bat that's going to be gone with the new BattleNet is there's no more character refresh. So, you know, and I really, really hated that because I stopped playing for just a little while. And all my characters disappeared. Every single one. I had a level 99 Paladin. I had at least 3 of every single character in the game, if not more, with multiple builds on every single one. I had a Hurricane Druid. I had a Summoning Druid. I had a Werewolf Druid. I had a Bear Druid. I had a Hammerdin. I had a Fanaticism Paladin. I had a Concentration, like team-orientated Paladin. It was very good in groups because he had like pretty much every aura at a decent level. He wasn't good by himself, but he was a really good team Paladin. You know, I had Fire Sorceress. I had a Lightning Sorceress. I had Cold Sorceress. I had a Trap Amazon, and they're all gone. Just all gone. You know, whatever. Diablo 2, just delete all my characters because I didn't log in for like 2 months. It's awful. But anyway, so a new BattleNet also means they're actually going to put some attention to it for a little while. So I don't know for how long, but it's going to be a brand new game, and I would say at bare minimum, at least for the first year, they're going to have a lot of attention to it, trying to maintain a healthy economy, getting rid of the cheaters, making sure the botters are banned, etc. Within the first year will probably be the best time to play Diablo II Resurrected, just simply because there's going to be so much attention put on the game to make sure things go correctly. And I'd say within like the first 3 years, the game will probably still see a decent amount of support from the company. So a lot of you, I don't know if you were there in the original Diablo in the heyday when it first started. Diablo was so much fun to play online. Before all the botters came in, before all the duping, before everything went completely to hell and the developers stopped caring about the game entirely, or disappeared. Diablo was an amazing experience online. It was so fun just to get online, to play BattleNet with other people. You would literally live and breathe BattleNet every single day. You would dream about it when you were sleeping. When you were at school, you would use your school notebooks and your pencils and pens to write out strategy guides on how to build your next character, what points you were going to put them in, at what levels you were going to put your points in, what skills you were going to have to make sure that you could take on those physical immunes, what gear you would get if you could get it. I literally have like hundreds of little drawings and notebooks where I've got like skill trees and like the points assigned and like when I was going to put the points in and what gear I was going to use on my paladin. And I was like 15 years old and I was like a rocket scientist when it came to Diablo. I was over there writing with a little pen and a pad, figuring everything out. Yo, get off me, son. Yeah. Alright, so now we are level, what, 12? Oh, 11. Alright, so we're going to save this point so that we can put... one into... Well, actually, no, we don't really need to put 1 point in the slow missiles. Not right now, anyway. It's kind of pointless. Nah. We're just going to go ahead and drop this in the one that's the most useful now. So 38 to 42 or 34 to 37. I'd say getting closer to 50 on critical strike is probably better than the small percentage I'm getting on the other. Alright, so let's go ahead and put Cathan's Vigil on. And we should also be able to put on the mana Steel Amulet. So now we have health and Mana Steel. So things will go a little bit better for us. And with that Mana Steel, we probably will never have mana issues again, because Jab is only 2 mana to begin with. A lot like Seal. At this point, I think we're going to beef up health a little bit. Tridents. Tankazon away. So this is another little secret area. You notice there's no door. So see this right here with the blood on it? This one's obvious though, because they let you see into it. And there's gold sitting on the ground on the other side to like give you a hint. Like, hey, there's something here. And you try and find the door, and there's no door, so you kind of have to figure out how to get in, and you start clicking on the wall, and then something opens, and, you know, that's pretty cool. Diablo's got lots of cool little things like that. I can't wait to see how they implement things like the secret doors. So I did learn a little bit about Diablo II Resurrected's alpha stages. So apparently Diablo II Resurrected is going to have 2 stages in alpha, so technical alpha. There's going to be a single player technical alpha, and then there's going to be a multiplayer stress test. So basically where everybody gets online and plays together and tries to crash the servers. The goal of the stress test is to stress out the servers. They need to see what it's like when 1 trillion people log in at the same time, and they need to be able to adjust the way the servers work for that. Now, Diablo 2 is an old game, and you can only go up to 8 players. So I really doubt that it's going to be that big of an issue. The requirements to host this game back in the year 2000 weren't really that high at the time, and I doubt they are that high now. I got stuck in a loop there. I mean, we're talking about servers now that are hundreds of times more powerful than the ones that they had back in 2000 when this game was, you know, in its heyday. And I just don't foresee any issue whatsoever with server lag. Now, granted, I don't know exactly how big the community was at its peak in Diablo 2, so we very well could be looking at some sort of stress test that is required. I mean, because if maybe the most people that ever played Diablo 2 back in 2000 was maybe like 100,000 people, and in 2021 when this game comes out, let's say 3 million people try and log in at the same time, then yeah, maybe there could be some issues. I don't there would definitely be a difference between the two. But when Technical Alpha comes out, you can be assured, you can be 100% assured that I will find a way to be in it. I'm going to be in the Technical Alpha. Wheelie. Said I am. Give me my body! Let me out of here! Punks?
Good evening.
They're just hitting so fast. I don't really have a chance. I think I burned all my potions last time I was down there just to stay alive, and it wasn't enough. It was not enough. The little bastards. Can't use any of my good armor yet. The main problem there, though, wasn't really any one monster. It was the combination of all of them. Like I told you, like I was talking about earlier, when it comes to hit recovery, there are issues when you have multiple targets hitting you that you can't recover fast enough. So you really need faster hit recovery. It's not something that you kind of worry about at the beginning of the game, because you kind of try to avoid those situations. But later on, when you become really tanky, and you actually will sit in the middle of maybe like 50 monsters and just sort of laugh at them, you've got to be able to recover quickly enough that you can attack back. Because if you can't attack back, you can't kill anything, and if you can't kill anything, well, eventually you're going to die. One way or another. A rare throwing axe.
I can't use this yet.
Huh, I got enough dexterity. Fancy that. An Amazon that doesn't have enough dexterity. So one of the things that's going to help us out tremendously is penetrate when we get there. It's a straight bonus to our attack rating. So having that just amazing bonus. Good lord, you little punk. Frickin' amplify damaged me. So as soon as he amplified damaged me, I was taking way too much damage. Like I was okay before that. But amplify damage increases the amount of damage that you take by 100%. So I went from okay to not okay, like literally in a second. I would like my corpse back, please. You guys are so rude. I would throw this hand axe at you if I could. Really guarding my corpse, you bastards. That's amazing. This is where backup gear would come in handy, which I don't have. And even if I did have backup gear, it wouldn't be as good as my primary gear. So, probably not going to be able to kill them. The only thing I can do with those is get them away from my body, but they're so freaking annoying because they're ranged classes, and the ranged classes don't want to move away from my body. I guess I could put this on for a second. Give me a little bit of defense, so I'm not just walking in there naked. Me open the portal because I don't want to lose my place. Are they blocking the door? No, they're not. Oh my god. No! I didn't mean to attack anything. You guys are rude. You're rude. Give me the potions. Potions! Good, your mom's happy. Alright. Didn't even need to go in there. It was a dead end. Freaking minor healing potions restore health so slowly. This way. Now, Dariel, I'm coming for you, and I will die all over you. Because I'm probably not ready. I am probably not ready. And as I was talking about earlier, Andariel is really like your true test as a Tankazon and whether you've built your character correctly, I guess. A lot of the times when it comes to a Tankazon, Duriel will be your what is it called? Like your coming of age. Your coming of age test. Like your bat mitzvah. Like you literally, if you can kill Duriel without dying, and you do a fairly good job at it, you built your character successfully, and you really just have to get your damage up from there. The Ancients can also be rather difficult in Act 5, but you won't see those for quite some time. You have plenty of time between Act 2 Duriel and Act 5 the Ancients to refine your character a little bit and make it more worthwhile. And like I said, if you can get your hands on the Decoy and the Valkyrie, you can reduce your damage by using them. You're also going to get a Mercenary in Act 2, which you're going to build up to help you. I would recommend Defiance, just so that you can avoid damage as much as possible. Perhaps Holy Freeze if you get to Nightmare difficulty, because the Nightmare Act 2 mercenaries have different auras than the normal mercenaries. There's a whole lot about this game that is just so fun to play around with. And, I'm sure that if you've never played Diablo before, you're going to have fun playing around with them. And if you have played Diablo before, you already know everything I'm talking about. And you're still having fun, because Diablo is just very fun to talk about in general. Very fun to theory craft. You know, obviously these early levels are just that, early levels. But it's where you start to refine your character and make it stronger. You realize what your character is lacking. You start to put points into the correct things so that your character can utilize, you know, her strengths and weaknesses correctly. And I say her because, you know, this is an Amazon. But obviously, if you were playing a paladin, it would be a Zakaru warrior. Look, I need more healing potions than one. Can you guys pull together? Drop me a couple potions, please. Would be nice. Ooh, a chip topaz. Oh. I thought something dropped. No. I don't care about no rockin' issue. Get on from me. Finally. After 10,000 years. Alright, so we are level 11, and up next is our beautiful two-handed sword. I'm not going to put a chip gem in that. That thing is beautiful. This weapon could literally be a very nice Act 5 barbarian weapon, believe it or not. 19 to 52 damage with lifesteal. And lifesteal is very crucial to keeping your mercenaries alive. It also has 10% chance to cast level 8 Firebolt on striking, which is kind of funny. And then the 2 sockets, which makes it really, really nice. What else? We can't use anything else just yet. No. No. Alright, I'm gonna sell this because I don't really like it. I don't really like it.
Good to see you.
Alright, we're gonna hold on to this for now. Put the potions into belt. Put the chip chip in the stash. But then comes the question: what do we want to put in the weapon? I'm going to take a quick look at my Go Mule to see what's on my other characters, and I just want to get an idea of what kind of gems I could possibly be putting in there. So let's see. I think you guys could see that. Yeah, okay, you guys can see that. Sweet. Alright, so we're going to go pull up our 2 characters here. We got our level 33 Necromancer and a level 37 Paladin. Alright, so we don't want to ruin the level 12 aesthetic of the weapon. Or do we? I mean, there are a lot of runes, so hold on, let's see. We got knockback, 20% increased attack speed, but that's level 29. The Am rune is level 25, so that's not really going to help us very much. I mean, we don't really have a lot of good runes that I would consider putting in there. Maybe the Eth rune, which is negative 25% target defense. It's only level 15. And then 150 to attack rating. I mean, obviously we could put a flawless skull in there and get 3% mana lifesteal, which would be nice. 44% damage to undead. I mean, the Ith rune is +9 to maximum damage, which would, I mean, I don't know. That's not terrible. It's also level 15. I mean, we're talking about a weapon that already has lifesteal on it. So... But of course, knockback could be very useful on a merc. Huh. Soul Rune and Ith Rune do the same. Oh, Soul Rune does minimum damage. Ith Rune does maximum. Okay. Alright. So let's save and exit real quick. We have that waypoint. And then I'm going to take these 2 runes that I want, and we're going to shove them onto the Tankazon. So our Tankazon is going to get the Eth rune, and then she's also going to get the Ith rune. So that'll give her negative 25% to target defense, and then +9 to minimum damage, which is going to make that weapon fairly nice. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and save all. Close that. Close single burn. And there we go. We got our little runes. But we can't use those until level 15, so they're just going to sit in here and rot. Rot. This is an intermediary weapon anyway. It's not like the super most important weapon or resisted or anything. You know, it's just something that we're going to use in between now and when we get something that's much better. Plus, I think we're going to give it to the merc. I think I'm going to get a barbarian merc on some character. I don't know. Maybe not this one, but I think a barbarian merc would work really good on something. I was actually thinking the necromancer. It's pretty nice too. Alright, let's go kick in Dariel's butt. And move on with our lives. Y'all think a time for this black archer nonsense. Y'all ghosties. Too many ghosties all at once. Y'all take your turns. hit your beat. See, they can stack on top of each other, which is one of the things about the ghosts which makes them so dangerous. Remember I was telling you that the more monsters you have attacking you at once, the easier it is for that hit recovery that you don't have to be overwhelmed. So if you're basically when the like 8 ghosts stack on top of each other and all attack you at the same time, you are completely overwhelmed in your hit recovery. So the best way to deal with these guys is to not fight them right now. We don't have enough evasion yet to deal with that many attacks all at once, and we don't have enough hit recovery to deal with that many attacks at once. So it's a good thing that I have a javelin that I can convert to a throwing weapon. I was looking at my girlfriend's blonde hair. She dyed it super blonde. Well, hello, Bone Ash. Stop making me cold. That's rude. This is Diablo II, the original. Diablo II Resurrected is not out yet. It is coming. I'm super excited for Diablo II Resurrected. That's why I'm playing this game. And believe it or not, your save files from this game will transfer over to Diablo II Resurrected. Let me type that out just to make sure I'm not mistranslating. So the save files from Diablo II Lord of Destruction will transfer over to Diablo II Resurrected. And that means all these characters that I'm making right now, when Diablo II Resurrected comes out, it's pretty much just a push of a button. I transfer the characters over, and I can literally play all these on the new graphics. Diablo II Resurrected is, in a way, just simply this game with better graphics. So that's one of the reasons why I'm playing this game right now, is because practicing the game early is going to give me an advantage. When the game finally does start, I'll have a better understanding of the way my skills work, the builds that I want to make, where I want to go farm for gear, etc. And this game right now runs on pretty much any computer. So, you know, it's one of those things that you can just you can have fun with. Like, for instance, right now I'm planning out a build called a Tankazon. So Alfonso, the way the Tankazon works is you build up your passives. So each one of these abilities is a passive, which gives the Amazon pretty much amazing abilities for free. And what I mean for free is you don't have to cast them or anything. They're just automatically there as soon as you build up the skills. So you got Critical Strike, which increases your damage by double. So I have right now I have a 42% chance to double my damage. Penetrate increases your attack rating, and attack rating is responsible for determining how often you hit a target. So if you go to your character tree, you can actually look at your attack rating and see right here it says average chance to hit a dark one, 81%. So if that's too low, you'll just get a lot of misses and you won't actually be hitting anything. So it doesn't matter how much damage you're doing. If you can't hit anything, it's not really going to do you any good. And then the Amazon also has these dodges. So each one of the dodges will give her a % chance to dodge incoming attacks, which completely negates all damage. And then she also has a Valkyrie. Do I have a date when the game will be released? Unfortunately not. So they said that it's going to be released in 2021. I do not know exactly when. They have announced that there is an alpha, a technical alpha that is coming. There's actually two technical alphas coming. There is a technical alpha which is going to be testing single player. And then after the technical alpha that is going to be testing single player, there is another one that is coming that is going to be testing out the multiplayer, sort of a stress test for the servers. You can actually opt in for those. Let me see if I can provide you a link real quick for the technical alpha. That way you can get in early if you want to. They're probably going to want a lot of people for the multiplayer version, just simply because the multiplayer version is a stress test, and usually with stress tests they want as many people as they can to get in there and really give the servers a pounding, because they don't want when they actually do release the game to have servers that are incapable of taking the stress, that is required. So here's the link. I'm gonna pop that in chat, and that link will take you to the Blizzard webpage where you can opt in for the technical alpha. Obviously, we need to go through the three stages. So it's development, alpha stage, beta stage, and then launch. So right now we are approaching the alpha stage, which I don't know how long that's going to last. It's actually kind of convoluted. So normally when a game is created, it's created from scratch. So it takes a very long time to reach the alpha stage. And even when it's in the alpha stage, it takes a very long time to reach the beta stage. But Diablo II Resurrected is not being created from scratch. Diablo II Resurrected is a game that is being based upon the one that I'm playing right now. And the way that they explained it is they're using the original one as a skeleton underneath of the new version. So the new version is like a puppet on top of the old skeleton hand. And so they don't have to do a lot of the development processes that you would for a new game. And that means that the development cycle may be a lot shorter. They do have a lot of art to make, and they have a lot of little things to make sure that things run correctly and smoothly. But I feel like overall it should take less time to create Diablo II Resurrected than it would to create an entirely new game from scratch. Well, if you play online, you're not going to be able to transfer your character. So, like, there's a BattleNet, an online BattleNet. The BattleNet is not going to transfer over. But your single-player character will transfer over. And Diablo 2 is not that expensive, I don't think. I'm pretty sure you can pick up a copy of Diablo 2 for pretty cheap. Let me do a quick search. Da, 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 da. So I'm just taking a quick look, and it looks like Diablo 2 is, Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction is fairly cheap. You can probably get both CD keys, the Diablo 2 and Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction CD keys, for about $7. It's not really that expensive. And what you do is you take the original CD keys. So these are the CD keys that came with the actual physical game that was released. So those CD keys that came with the physical game that actually had the CD, what you do is you take those CD keys and you go to the Blizzard website and you log into your account on Blizzard, and you actually put those CD keys into the Blizzard account page, and Blizzard will then activate those CD keys online and give you the downloadable copy of the game, which does not require the CD-ROM. And basically, if you can get your hands on an old working CD key from the old days, you just simply transfer that into the downloadable version on Blizzard's website, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's put 1 point into avoidance. So now we have the ability to dodge enemy missiles at 24%, which is going to help us out a ton. Earlier, we were actually having a lot of issues with the ranged characters, and this is going to help us with those ranged characters. So we still need strength, unfortunately, but now we should be able to use our boss two-handed weapon. So we're going to go ahead and start swinging this bad boy. No, what you running for? Don't be running. Bye, bye, bye. Baby, bye, bye, bye.
This place is eerie.
No, Alfonso, trust me when I say that Diablo is a very deep game. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to play around with. Even when you've learned everything, there is still so many different builds that you can just play around with and you can just have fun with. Your favorite character might be a paladin, and you might play paladin for quite a long time and build your paladin up to level 99, and then one day you're like, you know what, I want to make a Holy Freeze paladin, and you build a new paladin, and you realize there's this whole other side to paladin. Then you're like, okay, well, what about if I build a Smite-It-In, where I'm smacking people with my shield, and you try that out, and sure enough, it works, and you've got yourself a Smite-It-In. And then you're like, okay, well, I got a Smite-It-In, I got a Zeal-It-In, what else can I build with a paladin? And you're like, okay, what about a Vengeance-It-In? And you build all around elemental damage. Or what about a paladin that uses a bow? Let's make a ranger. And you find a way to build a paladin that uses a bow, and it works. And you're like, okay, well, wow. What else could I do with my characters? And you realize that the possibilities are almost limitless. What's up, app developer? Long time no see, sir. Look here, Dark One. Die. Look, y'all ain't got nothing on me, sir. You ain't got nothing on me. You ain't got nothing on me. Haha. Anyway, trust me when I say that there's really nothing wasted in playing Diablo. Like right now, even if nothing that I was doing would transfer over to Diablo II Resurrected, I would still be refreshing my memory on all of the amazing aspects of this game that I thought I had forgotten. But, you know, as I played, I started to remember them bit by bit. You know, things like unique items like the Silks of the Victor, the Stone of Jordan ring, you know, a Mantled Heel, Venom Ward, all these different unique items that I had memorized over the years, and funny enough, I still remember them all, which is like 20 years have gone by, and I still remember every single bit of this game, as if it were like ingrained in my soul. So Diablo 3 has a lot of issues. One of the main issues with Diablo 3 is that I don't really know like how to explain it. They tried so hard to capture the magic of Diablo 2, but failed. And they didn't really capture it. The items are so easy to get that it's ridiculous. And what I mean by that is you can literally fully gear a character in like a day. You can literally, like, say you wanted a particular set, and you wanted to get every piece of this set, and so you set out in your respective character. You go do rift runs or whatever you're gonna do in Diablo 3, and you could literally gear up your character in a day. And granted, you don't have a perfect gear set, but your gear is almost perfect. And then the personal loot system really kind of eliminates trading. There's no like anxiety in trying to get your items, because in Diablo 2, when an item drops, everybody has a chance to pick it up. In Diablo 3, when an item drops, only one person has a chance to pick up the item. It's you, and that's it. There's no rush. You're not worried that anybody else is going to get it. It's really silly. Diablo 2 is amazing. It's honestly a masterpiece of a game. Diablo 3 was trying to mimic Diablo 2, and honestly, I think it failed. There's only one aspect of Diablo 3 that I actually really enjoyed, and that was the Herodic Cube, where you would take effects off of uniques, and then you could combine those unique effects to produce some pretty interesting results. I thought that was really cool. That was original. It was something that I didn't expect from Diablo 3, and it wasn't something that came about in the beginning. It was something that came about much, much later. Well, app developer, it will play on any computer. So if you have a laptop or a desktop, even if it's a complete potato, it will most likely still play Diablo 2. So give it a try. Give it und try. Look here, little rat man. I ain't got time. Ain't got time. Tell you what, we need some poison resistance if we're gonna go fight Andariel. Don't get me wrong, there are a couple issues with Diablo 2, but they're mainly quality of life problems, issues that can be solved with some minor fixes, and that's what they're doing. In Diablo 2 Resurrected, we're going to get a shared stash, which is going to fix a lot of that particular quality of life issue. The stash is going to be bigger, so we can store more loot, which is always nice, and that would be cool if they remastered Diablo 1. Diablo 1 was a cool game, but you know what Diablo 1's main issue was? There was no online aspect where you had your character stored on a server. So, one of the things that made Diablo 2 so much fun was that it was very difficult to cheat. And the reason why it was very difficult to cheat was because your character's save file was stored on Battle.net when you played online. There were two different onlines, don't get me wrong. There was the online where you played with your save files from like what I'm playing right now, and then there was the Battle.net online service, which actually had your character on their server. And because your save file was on their server, it was very difficult for you to edit the save file. There are some people who manage to do it, but it's quite difficult. Now, Diablo 1, on the other hand, never had that. There was only online play where you were playing with the character that was on your game or your system. So you could edit your save file to your heart's content. And Diablo 1 was full of cheaters online, and it was very common to get murdered over and over again in Diablo 1, in town no less, by people who were cheating in that game. It's so it would actually be, I think, really fun if they just remade Diablo 1, made an online service where your character is on the server. That way, you know, you can't edit your character's stats. Put in some type of anti-cheat function, of course, so that it's not so easy to cheat the game. And I think it would be pretty cool. Jawbone cap. Could be worth some money at least. Shenmue 1, I can only see void space. So it's just black. Could be a problem with the game itself not recognizing your video card. Trying to remember. Sometimes you can get around that by trying to trick the program into thinking you have a better video card than you actually have. If that's true, single player was the best option with your LAN friends. Yeah, I mean, if you were playing with people who you knew weren't going to cheat, that was probably the best option. When you played online, you had absolutely no idea if somebody was cheating or not. Another thing that was really bad about Diablo 1 was when people cheated. So there were items that could be cheated into the game which shouldn't have existed, and when you equip them or put them on your character, it could sometimes actually corrupt your character, basically making your save file not work anymore. There were ways to recover your save file, but a lot of the times it would just simply crash your game and you'd have to reload. So some of these cheated items weren't even supposed to be in the game. So when you were playing with somebody, maybe they dropped like a god sword that they made, and the only reason that their game didn't crash was because they had a cheat program which allowed them to actually use this item. But when you put the item on, your game was like had a heart attack and died. That happened to me quite a few times. Not to mention the fact that they would have like infinite gold, and then they would drop gold all over the map. They had like teleport cheats where they would just teleport next to you and kill you instantly. Diablo 2 was probably my first lesson in, hey, these games are really easy to cheat, and you know, you probably shouldn't take things too seriously in these games. But I tried to do PvP and stuff in Diablo 1, and most people were cheating in those games. It didn't really work out. Diablo 2 was much more fun to play PvP with because you were fairly certain that most people weren't cheating online in Battle.net. And if you wanted to cheat, you could always go into the other regular Battle.net where you could use your own save files, and you could compete with each other to see who had the best cheats. That was actually kind of hilarious too. I'm probably 100% certain that yours will still drop in the remaster. Yes, I had a level 70. It's hard to remember. I think it was 76. I had a level 76 paladin on hardcore. And you know what I died to, man? You remember those undead Stygian dolls in Act 3? I was in hell on Act 3, and one of those undead Stygian dolls made it into the group that I was killing. And I one-shot it. okay? Because my damage was really good, but I literally one-shot this undead Stygian doll, and as soon as I one-shot the undead Stygian doll, he died and immediately killed me. Because you know the undead Stygian dolls have that huge damage explosion when they die. And of course, I was trying my best not to kill those guys. Because I really did not want to, you know, get in that situation where I was going to take that damage. Because you in hardcore, obviously there are things that can kill you extremely easily, and you have to kind of avoid them. Like fire enchanted monsters, they explode. You know, like the cold enchanted monsters, they have that big cold nova that comes out when they die. You know, the undead Stygian dolls, they explode when you kill them. And I was trying very, very diligently to keep away from these things. And it really wasn't my fault because they're hard to see. They're small, they're hard to see. And I was just trying to get through Act 3 as fast as I could without, you know, getting myself killed. And, yeah, well, yeah, it didn't work. Freaking undead Stygian dolls. I've made quite a few other hardcore characters, and you know they always end up dying. But you know that's part of the fun of hardcore is you go in knowing that your character can die at any moment, and when it does, well, that's the end. I'm not really too interested in the Diablo for cell phones. No, that one doesn't really pique my interest. I'm gonna have to say. So there was a device that came out. It's called the NVIDIA Shield Portable. The NVIDIA Shield Portable is this really cool handheld device, and I actually have it right here. Let me show it to you, because you guys are going to get a kick out of this. So the NVIDIA Shield Portable was made by NVIDIA, obviously, and it is a portable game console that runs on Android. Check it out. What do you think of that? Right? Pretty cool device, right? Well, it has a controller built in. It runs on Android. It has pretty much all the Android apps on it. A game like Diablo Immortal would play on here, and you would think that playing on a device like this would be really cool, you know? Like, you know, you're playing on this little Android device, and you got all these Android games on here. But you know what the problem is? No matter how cool the device is, they're still Android games. And Android games suck. There were a couple games on Android that were basically full versions of like real games, like on the computer or something like that, that had been translated, you know, into an Android game, and they were okay. They were fun to play. But the main problem that I had with the NVIDIA Shield Portable was the quality of the games. The phones, like, Android devices have the worst quality games. There is one game I would recommend on Android. So I can't say that they're all terrible because there are always exceptions, and this is one of them. If you guys ever get the chance, there is this game. It is called Out There. It's on Android, and it is amazing. It's basically a game where you play a starship captain who is traveling through space and just trying to stay alive, basically. And this starship captain is constantly coming into contact with, you know, aliens and unique situations, and you have to make choices. And the choices that you make affect, you know, whether you live or die, like how much oxygen you have on your ship. You know, you can find alien ships and you can take over them, and the alien ships have, you know, better shielding and all sorts of other cool stuff. It's just a really neat game to play on a cell phone. It doesn't require a whole lot, and I found myself like sinking hours into it, just having fun trying to beat the game, to correctly control my you know, my resources and whatnot. I thought it was just amazing. And Out There is also, you know, it's on other systems besides Android. But I never really found a whole lot of games on Android that I was like, wow, this is such a really cool game. I'm going to play this forever. In fact, Out There is probably pretty much the only one that I found on Android that I really, really liked. Besides Super Monkey Balloon Pop, which is a tower defense game.
Good to see
That
you.
was actually kind of fun to play, but tower defense games are all pretty much the same no matter what system you play them on.
Your presence honors me.
Well, Diablo II Resurrected is going to be on Nintendo Switch. It's going to be on PlayStation. It's going to be on Xbox, and it's going to be on the PC. And there's also going to be cross progression between all of them. So if you play on, for instance, the Nintendo Switch, and you also happen to have the PC version, you're going to be able to level up a Paladin to 75 on the Nintendo Switch, and then hop on your PC, and then pick up your Paladin and level up to 76 or 77. What's my character name when the game comes out? I mean, I'm probably going to make my first character GGM. I've actually been trying to keep my Ginger Gaming Mentor tag going. So GG Mentor a lot of the times. Or I might go with one of my old standards, which is YDoc. It's a very common name that I've used a lot.
Yes.
I'm not the only one that that has used it, but I'm probably one of the main people that has used it. All the way back, in like the 1990s. Alright, so let's grab another point into avoidance. And we need some more points in strength so that we can finally equip our...
I can't use this yet.
Of course. Because this has +3 strength on it, we don't have enough strength. We have 69, which is just silly. We are literally 1 point of strength away. What do I like most, multiplayer or single player? If you're talking, are you talking about Diablo 2, or are you talking about games in general? Because if I had to say Diablo 2 is definitely better to play with other people. 100%. Absolutely, with other people is the best way. Now, do I think that it's best to play all games multiplayer? Not really. Like, I feel like in general, there are a lot of games out there that are more fun to play single player. Like for instance, Diablo 1, for instance, I after a long time of playing online and trying to play with other people and never really getting a lot of of fun out of it, I realized that playing with cheaters was not really the most fun. Which is kind of why I'm not playing on Diablo 2's online system right now, because it's full of cheaters. But when Diablo II Resurrected comes out and Battle.net is brand new and fresh and the cheaters have to start all over, I'm going to have a lot of fun playing online. Making a build that depends on your team is actually a very, very fun thing to do. There are a lot of builds that you can do which are very team orientated, like an enchant sorceress. Their paladins in particular can be very utilitarian, and you can have multiple auras which can help your group, like salvation and conviction and concentration and fanaticism. You can build a very esoteric build which is around helping out the group. Barbarians can be very group orientated as well. They have some very nice shouts which can be quite useful. Then there is the Druid. The Druid also has some very nice group skills, as is little oak sages, which give health and damage to the team. The Necromancer in particular may not seem like he's very group orientated, but the Necromancer can crowd control very effectively. The Necromancer can basically keep the damage off of you by having all his minions there. He has like an entire tree of curses that can help out the group, including a very handy curse called Attract, which you cast on one person and it causes all the monsters nearby to attack that monster. So like pretend your barbarian was in the middle of a group and he's dying. You cast Attract on a monster right next to the barbarian. All the monsters next to the barbarian will start attacking that monster. Instead of the barbarian, your barbarian lives. And I can definitely understand that, app developer, because I've played a lot of games over the years, and cheaters actually are quite prevalent. For instance, I played Counter-Strike for a long time. I played Team Fortress 2, and in those games, you can have a lot of fun playing against other people. And I did for a very long time. And come to find out, one of my best friends had been cheating the entire time, and I didn't know it. He had an aimbot program, and one day when he was drunk, he sent the aimbot program to me. And just like that, I found out that my one of my best friends on Counter-Strike had been cheating for years and years. And it really kind of made me feel bad because, you know, I had always seen him as sort of a, how would I put it? A rival, you know? And, you know, we were constantly getting better together. But as it turned out, I was getting better and he was increasing the headshot ratio on his aimbot. So what equipment can we wield next? Looks like Hawkmail is our next piece. And then with Hawkmail we can also put these 2 runes into the sword, which will give us a fair bit of damage that we can use versus some targets that actually require it. We got some resistances now, mainly cold. Probably going to need a few antidote potions to fight Andariel. Counter-Strike is a game that takes a lot of practice, app developer. You're not going to be good at it after one day. It's not going to happen. I played Counter-Strike for a very long time. I got very good at learning the maps. I learned all the weapons. I learned how to you know, do the particular skills in Counter-Strike. You know, like moving while firing, sneaking up behind people and knifing them. The knife moves you faster. Like, there's a lot of things to learn about Counter-Strike. And even all of my knowledge about Counter-Strike combined, I'm still, I guess, what would be called an average player. And I don't really consider myself to be an average player on Counter-Strike. I really think I'm much better than that. Because a lot of the times when I start to be dominated in a match in Counter-Strike, I take it upon myself to spectate the person who's dominating me, and a lot of the times I will see them looking through walls. I will see their cursor tracking people's heads, and I know, you know, fairly quickly whether or not they're cheating. And very rarely in Counter-Strike, when you start to become dominated by someone else, is it simply because they're way better than you. Now, if you're just starting out at the game, everybody's going to be better than you. So it's going to take you time. But if you're a veteran who's been playing Counter-Strike for a very long period of time, and suddenly someone comes in the game and is 30 kills and 1 death, you know, be a little suspicious. Lord, these zombies are fast. Diablo 4, I really don't know. I mean, I hope they take some examples from Diablo 2, and they really sort of figure out where they went wrong with Diablo 3, and they refine their formula. because I feel like a lot of Diablo 3 is terrible. And if they follow that Diablo 3 formula, it's not going to go well. If they build a new game entirely, which is separate from Diablo 3, then maybe there's a chance it'll be a good game. Diablo 2 was like a once-in-a-lifetime miracle of cooperation between a large number of people. And I just don't feel like it's ever going to be something that's going to happen again. The team that made Blizzard, or that made Diablo 2, is gone. It's called Blizzard North, and they are gone to the four winds of time. Pretty much none of those people work for Blizzard anymore, so it's next to impossible for them to capture the magic that this game had. Now, Alfonso, Barbarian is an interesting class. If you're talking about Diablo 3 Barbarian, I don't know, but Diablo 2 Barbarian is actually very, very fun. It's a very, very fun class. In fact, if you've never played the Diablo 2 Barbarian, I would definitely recommend that you give it a try, because it is a very unique class in this game. The Diablo 2 Barbarian has a lot of passives, and those passives allow him to become very strong. Something that I feel like the Diablo 3 Barbarian is lacking quite severely. Alright. I don't even know if we're going to be able to kill Andariel. We do not have the poison resist for this. We do not. I mean, I could wait till I get to level 15 so I have a little bit better gear. But I just don't know. No, sir. I just feel like that was so rude. Came up behind me while I was fighting. Freaking champion zombies, they have so much health. I don't need any mana potions. I know you play lots of games over the years. Do you play Necrovision? Bought the game. I think I should try. What do you think? I mean, Paladin is definitely more my style. I think, without a doubt, Paladin is one of my favorite classes in this game. Now, granted, I also really like Necromancer. I also really, really like the Sorceress, and I also really, really like the Amazon. It's a close call for me. I think Barbarian is one of my least favorites, but it's not necessarily because it's terrible or anything. I actually feel like the Barbarian is an amazing class. It's just not my cup of tea, like you said. It's, you know, it might not be your particular cup of tea. Did I have any a portal up? For Barbarian? For Barbarian, most people would like to... Oh, for Paladin. Okay. For Paladin. There's just so many good builds. What do you prefer? Shield and Sword Fighter? Okay, Shield and Sword Fighter. Well, one of the easiest and the most fun builds is the Zeal Fanaticism build. So there's a skill in the game. It's an aura called Fanaticism. Fanaticism is an aura that gives you an increase in your attack speed, and it also increases your damage and your attack rating. What you would do is you're going to level up your Zeal all the way, and you're going to level up your Fanaticism all the way. And what this is going to do is it's going to make your character super, super fast in its attacks. So it literally just spams attacks. Just, I mean, it's amazing. And then you're going to build up your gear so that you can, stay survivable. And there are other things you can do to really help out your character, like add in elemental damage, and find a way to kill monsters that might be physically damage immune. But a Fanaticism build is actually really cool, and what you do is you actually build a Holy Shield, which Holy Shield is a increase to your shield's blocking capability, defense, and whatnot. Holy Shield is amazing if you're going to be a Sword and Shield Paladin. So you would pretty much build Zeal, Fanaticism, Holy Shield, and then Sacrifice has a synergy with Zeal. So what you do is you actually build Sacrifice to max as well to increase the amount of damage that Zeal does. And this is that's a rather simple build. You can pretty much do whatever you want. After that, you can put your points into whatever you need. Another really cool build for Paladin is the Holy Freeze build. So the Holy Freeze build is actually an aura that causes all monsters nearby to be frozen by a certain percentage. It's like 50 some odd percent, I think, around a decent level. And it adds cold damage to all your attacks. So by building Holy Freeze, you actually have a huge amount of cold damage, and all monsters basically nearby are taking cold damage constantly. And you build synergies into Holy Freeze. Obviously, you don't just leave it. And there are other ways you can build Zeal with Holy Freeze. You can build Vengeance with Holy Freeze. Vengeance is an elemental attack. You can also build several other interesting ways to maximize Holy Freeze. You can use a bow, believe it or not, with Holy Freeze, since it's a straight amount of cold damage added to your attacks. Die. I may be out of javelins, but I'm not out of a sword to your forehead. I know you're jealous. Alright, we need to kill Andariel, and I need to kill Andariel. Alright, so we need potions. We got some, I guess. We're level 13. We don't have any javelins left. She's gonna so murder us. Let's go ahead and put our antidote potions down here, because we are gonna need them. Let's see if we can attract some of these monsters away from Andariel before we go to kill her. Andariel is very poisony. She has lots of poison. Lots and lots of poison. So much poison. And oh god, it's like gonorrhea. It's like rancid, just rancid gonorrhea. And she sprays it everywhere. Like, it's not polite at all. Yeah, I think that's a really cool feature. I feel like that does a lot of honor to people who have played Diablo 2 for a very long time, who have single-player characters sitting around. You know, maybe they've got level 99 characters that they never cheated on, you know, that they played single-player and they're really proud of. You know, maybe they have a lot of gear sitting around on characters, you know, that they've been holding on to for a long time, and they want to build new characters in Diablo 2 R. I think it's just really cool that they're going to have that option. Let's see if I can kill her. I need to keep myself unpoisoned. That's the most important thing. I'm gonna ration my antidote potions though. Okay, well that wasn't too bad. I thought it was gonna be a little bit worse than that.
I'm overboard.
She dropped a ruby.
This maiden shall inflict no more anguish.
1,000+ hours.
Good day.
I think
And
there's people who probably have
yes?
5,000+ hours at this point. I mean, the game's been out for 20 years. I can't even rightly say how many hours I've put into this game. I really could not, because I played the original Diablo before Lord of Destruction. I played Lord of Destruction when it came out. I played pretty much all the patches of the game all the way up to 1.14D. I might have missed a few here and there, but not many. You know, and then there were always the resurgences. So, you know, there were the times when, you know, my brother and I would get the Diablo 2 itch, and we would want to go play Diablo 2 together. There's, you know, there's the times when me and my nephew got Diablo 2 again and started playing it again. And me and my brother must have played Diablo 2, you know, single player over TCP/IP like many times after the heyday of BattleNet died out. And, you know, I played with my nephew Mark like 6 or 7 times too. And we played all sorts of different characters. In fact, I distinctly remember him playing a bear druid, I think. Pretty much at this point, right? And that's an interesting aspect to think about when it comes to Diablo 2 Resurrected. You know, in most games, when you log in for the first time, everybody is a brand new character. You know, everybody has the same, you know, experience level, I guess you would say. 20 years of Diablo 2 Resurrected, you know, of Diablo 2 experience playing Diablo 2 Resurrected. And then there's going to be people who've never played Diablo 2 in their entire lives, you know, logging in for the first time with these 20-year veterans. It's going to be an interesting community, to say the least. Alright, I need to get out of here. Come on, Amazon, we ain't got time. How many monsters doing in here? I thought I killed these guys already. Alright, where's the scroll of Infus? I gotta go save Deckard Cain. Deckard Cain, leave here immediately. Look, don't make me swing my sword at you, because if I do, you're gonna die. Where's my I ain't got no stamina potions. Dude, Mr. Llama's been playing for a long time. He never gave up, did he? I mean, I never gave up either. I played until I got bored, and then I'd stop, and then I'd pick it up again. But I feel like Mr. Llama's been playing 20 years straight. Like, he ain't never stopped. He's been playing like the entire time. He's like, oh yeah, you know, he's like, trying out every build, you know. He's got all the mods and everything. Like, I seen his client is all decked out with mods. He's got like a mod that allows him to like add and subtract stat points anytime he wants. He's got another mod that allows him to like add and subtract skill points whenever he wants. You know, he's got like the shared stash already. He's got all sorts of stuff going on with his Diablo client that I've never even seen. And, you know, granted, I could probably figure them out if I wanted to. But at this point, you got a brand new Diablo II Resurrected coming out. It's coming out with all these quality of life fixes, like a, you know, a stash and whatnot that we need. Like the shared stash and the gold pickup and the widescreen and all that stuff. So I just don't really feel like going through all that trouble right now to try and make my Diablo 2 better, when we got a better Diablo 2 coming in a very short period of time. I mean, it's coming out this year, and we're definitely at least going to get an alpha probably within the next... I would wager a guess that the alpha is going to come out sometime within the next 2 months. Alphas are things that come out very early in the development. The entire, you know, term alpha means the beginning. So, for instance, you know, if you ever heard the term alpha and omega, you know, alpha is the beginning and omega is the end. So I guess you could say that the final build of the game is the omega build. Of course, nobody ever wants to call the final build of the game the omega build because you don't ever want it to be your final build, you know. Spring, you thinking? I mean, in Virginia, we're already in spring. It was like 70 degrees outside. Because Virginia is weird. Freaking weird state. It's like, it was like 30 degrees at night, and then it's like 70 degrees during the day, because that's Virginia. There literally could be snow on the ground in one part of the Virginia, and like it'd be like summer in the other part of Virginia, and you just like, okay. Three-head wood fist. Yeah.
What a strange-looking tree.
Yeah, what a strange-looking tree. Stop it! Stop it! Don't be rude. I said don't be rude. It's actually kind of a nice bow. Another thing I can tell you is that for the stress test, they're going to involve a lot of people. Okay. So I wouldn't stress about getting into the stress test. Because the stress test, like I said, is going to be a lot of people. They're going to want as many people in there as they possibly can, because the entire purpose of a stress test is literally to stress out the servers as much as possible. So don't worry about getting into the stress test. If you've signed up for the technical alpha, there's probably a extremely good chance you're going to get into at least the stress test. Now, the single-player version, I don't know. That one might be a little bit more selective. I really can't say one way or the other. It's really going to be up to them who they want in the single-player version, because the single-player version is not going to be about stressing the game. It's more or less going to be about getting feedback, good feedback on the game, so that they can make the proper changes that they need to, testing out bugs, you know, getting to those places where things may go wrong. You know, that in particular is going to be, they're going to be more interested in feedback. Whereas the stress test, they're not interested in feedback. They don't really care about what you have to say about the game. What they're interested in is getting enough bodies onto the server to completely overload it, because they need to see how the server reacts when a massive amount of people are really stressing it out. So a lot of people, like a lot of people are going to get into the stress test. You can trust me on that one. Alright. Scroll of Infus. Let's go save Deckard Cain. I can't remember which character it is, but I always thought it was hilarious. He goes, Deckard Cain, leave this place immediately. Alright, where are the stones? Stones, wonderful stones.
And so it came to pass.
And so it came to pass with the Countess, who bathed in the blood of 1,000 virgins. Which, by the way, how do you verify, you know, that every single one of them was a virgin? That's a lot of people to check. That's a lot of people to virgin check. I'm trying to go to Tristram. I'm trying. So if I don't know if any of you haven't played Diablo 1, I know a bunch of you have, but for those of you who haven't played Diablo 1, Diablo 1 took place in Tristram, and so in Diablo 2, you actually go to Tristram and you get to see that it's a ruined mess, and usually your character comments on, you know, the state of Tristram, saying something like, you know, it's a very sad thing, you know, the Tristram had fallen, or, you know, something along those lines. They're always really judgmental. If I can find the dang Karen stones wherever they're hiding. But it was a really cool sort of Easter egg, you know, to see the Tristram town. I always thought that was really cool. Because, you know, and for those of us who played Diablo 1, we were really excited to see that. We're like, oh, yeah, there's Diablo 1, where we spent all that time. And then, you know, in Diablo 2, you find out that, spoiler alert of a 20-year-old game, you find out that the hero, basically that you are, once you killed Diablo became... Diablo infested you, essentially. You know, a demon, what's it called? Demon possession? He possessed you. So you're the hero, you killed Diablo and everything, but Diablo basically got the last laugh because he possessed you. And by possessing you, he was able to take over the body of the champion who defeated him, and in the process, he becomes stronger. And so your victory is basically nothing. So at the end of Diablo 1, you know, you think you've won, and in the beginning of Diablo 2, they sort of show you the Wanderer, and they don't really tell you what's going on, but you slowly figure it out that the Wanderer was in fact you from Diablo 1, and you turn into Diablo. So when you kill Diablo in Act 4, you're actually, in effect, killing yourself from the previous game, which is pretty cool.
Help!
Nice little evil touch there. Now, at the end of Diablo 2, you break the World Stone, and the World Stone is kind of where everybody's powers come from.
Camp without delay.
So you irreparably change the world. Maybe not for the better. Hold on, I gotta get Wirt's leg. So in Diablo 1, Wirt was this little bastard that always had the good stuff. He was always charging an arm and a leg for it. Literally, an arm and a leg. Get it? Because he has a pig leg. And so in Diablo 2, I guess they thought it was appropriate to allow you to pick up Wirt's leg. And Wirt's leg is actually used as the key to the secret cow level. So you actually need Wirt's Leg to create the portal to go to the secret cow level. It's pretty fun.
Good evening.
I actually do have a video up of the secret cow level already, if you guys want to see that. I played it on the Necromancer, and I also played it on the Paladin. That was pretty fun.
As a token of my regret,
As a token of my gratitude, I will identify items for you at no charge.
Good evening.
What do I need next? So I really don't need any more strength. Let's go ahead and go to the next zone. So we go east and we travel
Hello.
to...
Greetings, honored traveler. I am Jaren, Lord of Lut Gholein, and I bid you welcome to my fair port city. I am glad to know that once again, caravans are free to travel through the Western Pass. For some time now, we have been under siege by an evil power that I cannot identify. Strange, it all began when a dark wanderer came this way, looking for the tomb of Tal Rasha. No one knows exactly where Tal Rasha, keeper of Baal, is entombed, but it is certain to be far out in the desert. Now my people whisper tales of the dead rising from their tombs, and horrible creatures lurking amongst the moonlit dunes. Even I have witnessed things which I cannot explain. I've ordered the port closed and all trade ships moored until I am sure that my city is safe. Atma, the tavern keeper, has an important mission for you. Go see her immediately. You'll find her on the other side of town. Now I must return to the palace. I apologize, but I can't invite you in. Things are rather a mess right now.
Uh-huh. Alright, so we're going to put... Can't remember, do I need any dexterity at all? Because I might not put any points of dexterity if I don't have to. No. I need dexterity for the javelin, that's right. Okay, so let's put a few points in dex. That'll help our attack rating for now. Alright, so I think I'm pretty much done with the Tankazon for now. I've made it to Act 2. I got myself to level 14. We made pretty good progress on her. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to see if I can do something else. Cinematics, yes. So this is pretty fun. So they said they're going to remaster all the cinematics for the game. And the cinematics are beautiful. I'd like to play the cinematics right now for you all if you're interested in watching them. So sit back and enjoy. What, they don't work? What does that say? What's the little red dot mean? None of the cinematics will play? What? Well, that's worrisome. Let's see if I can find them online. That'll be fun. Diablo II cinematics. Oh, somebody has one that says not playing. Boop, 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 boop. Alright, I think I found them. Alright, so I'm gonna pop these on top here. Hold on. Take me just a second. Alright, that looks good.
So, Marius, at last I find you.
Tyrael, yes. Yes, now I recognize you. I should have known you'd travel in disguise. They're always watching.
I've been searching for you for a long time, Marius. I was rather beginning to think you didn't want to be found.
Oh, forgive me, Tyrael, please. It wasn't my fault.
Not your fault. Tell me, Marius, how was it not your fault?
The Wanderer. Yes, it was the Wanderer. My days at the Rogue Citadel seem so long ago. I sought refuge from my memories in the company of other outcasts, high in the mountains past the Eastern Gate.
Do you want something?
Oh, I fought sleep for days at a time. For when I dreamt, the memories would return. Memories of the monastery and the evil which had claimed it. Dreams, memories. I couldn't tell the difference anymore. Had the evil from my dreams followed me at my heels? How had he found me here? How could this broken shell of a man, barely able to carry the weight of his own sword, be the burning terror which drove me to hide here? He seemed to have demons of his own that he struggled to contain. And he was losing. As I watched, I became convinced that I was truly mad. The terror, the destruction, the evil I witnessed, how else could I explain them? Were these the demons from my dream, or were they born within the Wanderer? Why did I follow him? I don't know. Why do things happen as they do in dreams? All I know is that when he beckoned, I had to follow him. And from that moment, we traveled together east. Always into the east. We traveled east, over the mountains and into the vast deserts of broken lands. As the days passed, my companion told me of himself, that he had once been a great warrior, and that a dark and secret burden now weighed heavily upon him. We traveled for an eternity across that arid wasteland. How long? I couldn't say. And always, a dark cloud seemed to follow us just over the horizon. Finally, the journey ended. We climbed the last bridge. There below us lay our destination. The shining jewel, Loot Lane, with a great sea beyond. We made camp that last night. Perhaps it was the warm desert wind or the sound of the ocean, but for the first time in many weeks, I slept. However, the dreams returned, but these were clearly not my own. I beheld a vision of a great man, the mage, Talrasha. You were there too, Tyrael. I remember seeing you in my dream. His brethren had cornered a great demon, Baal, Lord of Destruction, who had been set loose upon the world. They attempted to imprison the demon within a sacred stone. Yet when their attempts failed, Talrasha selflessly volunteered to contain the demon within himself, completing the prison. He instructed his brethren to bind him within a tomb, buried under the sand, there to wrestle with the demon for all eternity.
Now you know what I seek, Marius. This is my brother. Sleep now. We set out with the dawn.
The next morning, we walked over the hill toward Lutgolain. I had no idea then of the horrors that were in store for me there. My companion drew in the dank, cold air of the tomb. It seemed to strengthen him. I stood in the doorway between light and dark. What was left of my sanity implored me not to enter. But that voice was just a whisper now. As we worked our way down, deeper and deeper into the crypt, I began to see a change in my companion. He seemed to be gaining strength. I could hardly see in the gloom, but my companion seemed to know the way. We came at last to a great hall. It was then I realized my companion hadn't been gaining strength. He had been losing what was left of his humanity. He moved with demonic speed, and then you appeared.
Stop! The beast contained herein shall not be set free, not even by you.
Don't do it!
Fool! You have just ensured the doom of this world. You cannot even begin to imagine what you've set in motion this day. Go to the Temple of Light in the eastern city of Karast. There you will find the gate to hell opened before you. You must find the courage to step through that gate, Marius. Take the stone you hold to the Hellforge, where it will be destroyed. Now run. Take the stone and run!
What choice did I have? I ran. I did as you told me, Tyrael. I found the temple of the Zakarum. In the deepest recesses of the temple, I found a dark gathering. My companion, the Wanderer, Talrasha, and a great evil who could only be the Lord of Hatred himself, Mephisto. I heard a voice then, like 1,000 needles in my heart.
My brothers, at long last we stand reunited. The Infernal Gate has been prepared, and the time of our final victory is at hand. Let the way to hell be opened. And the evil that was once vanquished shall rise anew. Wrapped in the guise of man shall he walk amongst the innocent, and terror shall consume they that dwell upon the earth. The skies shall rain fire, and the seas will become as blood. The righteous shall fall before the wicked, and all creation shall tremble before the burning standards of hell.
What I saw then was not meant for mortal eyes.
The gate stands ready. Now, my young brother, the time has come to assume your true form. Arise, Diablo, Lord of Terror. Send forth your terror into hell.
I heard later that he was defeated. And that the Soul Stone were destroyed in Hellforge. All except one.
Oh, I failed, Tyrael. I couldn't do as you asked. I couldn't enter that gate. Forgive me, Tyrael. Forgive me.
Marius, give me the stone, and all is forgiven. Give it to me, Marius.
Take it. Take it, take it. I'm glad this is finally over, Tyrael. Look what the stone has done to me.
You haven't failed, old man. You've done exactly as you were meant to do. However, I am not the Archangel Tyrael.
Baal. No. No, 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 no.
You have done well, Marius. Now I think you shall have your reward.
I don't deserve
Praise be to the light. You have accomplished the impossible. Diablo and Mephisto have been banished back into the black abyss that spawned them, and the corrupted soul stones are no more. However, while you were fighting here, Baal remained behind in the mortal realm, building an army of hellish minions. Now Baal's army is searching for the World Stone, the ancient source of all the soul stones and their power, while leaving behind a wake of destruction. They have forged deeply into the barbarian homelands, heading directly for the summit of Mount Arreat. Baal knows, mortal hero. That is the very site of the blessed World Stone. Now, enter the portal I have opened for you. It will take you to the barbarian city of Hrogoth, the last bastion of order on the slopes of Arreat.
Baal! The gates of Sescheron have stood for eons beyond remembrance, and you shall not breach them now. Remove your foul demons from our lands. We stand on the side of light, and you shall not be allowed to reach Mount Arreat. And that which you seek will not be yours.
Enough! Enough! Enough!
I shall take your position into consideration.
Well, it seems your terms are not acceptable.
I am impressed, mortal. You have overcome the greatest challenge this world has ever faced and defeated the last of the prime evils. However, we are too late to save the World Stone. Baal's destructive touch has corrupted it completely. Given enough time, the World Stone's energies will drain away, and the barriers between the worlds will shatter. The powers of hell will flood into this sanctuary and eradicate your people and everything you've labored to build. Therefore, I must destroy the corrupted World Stone before the powers of hell take root. This act will change your world forever, with consequences even I cannot foresee. However, it is the only way to ensure mankind's survival. Go now, mortal. I have opened a portal that will lead you to safety. May the eternal light shine upon you and your descendants for what you've done this day. The continued survival of mankind is your legacy. Above all else, you have earned a rest from this endless battle.
Sweet. Just as awesome as I remembered. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Freaking awesome. Alright, ladies and germs, it's been fun. I gotta get some sleep. I gotta work in the morning. I am chat tonight. That was really cool. I love talking about Diablo 2, and we're gonna play some Diablo 2 Resurrection. As soon as Diablo 2 Resurrection comes out, it's gonna be on this channel. I promise.